Welcome back to another week and another fantastic episode of the Red Wagon Inn. So glad to have you all back here for another week after the kind of chaotic and hectic week that we had last week, both in-game and out of game as characters. It was a lot, and it was a lot of fun, though, so very excited for that one. Brie has to pause there for a second. So glad to have you all back. We are excited for episode 4, and we're excited for some more dice giveaways to go on tonight. Before we jump right into it, does anybody have anything that we need to shill before we get started? Drew.
I do. Hi. It's going to be really short. I have a shop update next Tuesday. So you can buy dice and watch Red Wagon Inn next week. Whoa. Okay,
Whoa.
that's it.
Also, I don't know what people are saying about Xy's face. That's just what he looks like all the time. Yeah.
All the time.
Just built different.
Affirmative. Also, Robot Man, can you tell people what color you dyed your hair to make things match?
I threw some green in it so we'd have some interesting see-through pieces.
He's so dedicated. I tried to do mine, but it wouldn't stick. But I like the way yours turned out. Awesome. Well, Brie?
I am taking part in the push-up challenge in June. It is to raise money for Lifeline. You can find the links on my Instagram page at Fortune Favors. It's in my bio on my Linktree. I also have decided for some reason that if you donate with the message push it real good, then I will roll a d20 and add that to my total count each day. So if you want to make me have a bad time, but raise money for a really, really good cause, head on over to my Instagram account and you can check that one out. I hate exercise, but I love awareness for mental health. So please support.
Did the push it real good come from Salt and Pepper?
You can't give me a GFY when it's for charity.
Oh. Charity would agree with me, I think.
I love that clause. GFY charity clause.
Yeah. Push it real good. And if we do get some donations, I don't know, maybe you can watch me attempt to do push-ups on a live or something. We'll see how we go. I don't exercise. I don't know how to stress that more.
Bree's not allowed.
Like it's a song.
Bree's not allowed to leave the live stream until she finishes all push-ups. So if we could I'm just throwing rules out there to see if we can get her to do like 1,000 on stream on a never-ending stream.
Do you want me to come back next week? Because I will die.
Brie can't make it with us on the 15th. She's still doing push-ups.
So sorry. It's going into December. So much for it just being June.
Awesome. Anybody else have anything before we show off some art? Beautiful. Alex, do we want to show off the art that you sent before? Okay, cool. I will make sure that we do that. The very first piece of art comes from Words Mythologic, who showed a piece of art of Exy taking the shot heard round the world last week that was redunculous, and Brie was, when she was catching up, telling us was, oh god, it was so gross when she heard it. And then we also have Drew doing a heckin' concern there with his art, which is now an official emote on the Discord, correct? Head shake.
You getting that
my mic is muted, yes.
Oh, okay. Head shake, indeed. We also have some art from our boy, the Jakey boy, of his Ordell that we got going on there. Look at that. And as I get the other art, because I wasn't sure if you wanted me to show it or not, Alex, so I'll pull it up. Why don't you tell them what we got for giveaways this week, Alex?
We have two, which I don't have in front of me right now, but 2 more Glyphic blind bags, season 2s. Super amazing. Hopefully, as I said, there was 4 left here, and the rare hasn't been pulled out of the box. So there's a rare up for grabs in all of those.
Whoop, whoop.
Maybe even a foil.
And we also have the 2 pieces of art, which if you want to tell which the artists are, I'm going to fit it to screen so that people can see it a little bit better there. But the first one is the kind of cartoonish version of it, which I really like.
definitely. So, this one is by. I have like 6 pieces of art at the moment, so of course I am definitely ready for this. Crud.
Well, while you're looking who they are from, I will show the other one, which is the much more realistic version of them, and I love them both for different reasons. I think they're
That one's
both
from
just
Grums,
red.
I know that, but the other one's from Verhoxel, I believe. I'll share some links in the XE chat later.
Perfect. I think all the art that we have this week is awesome. A lot of it came from in-house, so good job, everybody. And then, if you haven't checked it out, Verity continues to make amazing poems in a lot of the individual characters parts on the Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, go check those out. Emma even did a reading of one of the Verity poems that made a lot of people cry in the Discord. So definitely go check that one out.
Same with Jakey over there.
Ooh, I haven't even heard that one yet.
Jakey did the same for Ordell.
I haven't, so I gotta go check it
I
out.
did it first, actually. Thank you. Just saying.
Wow, Drew, way to copy.
And then he hides. Goodbye.
Awesome. Well, no other delay. Let's roll for recap. Nat 20, baby. Not me.
Go home. You're drunk.
16.
Delirium. Ha!
16.
16.
Jakey called it.
I did. I said no one is gonna roll like lower than a 15 somehow.
It's because we're all lying, Jakey. What did you lie about, Brie?
Alex, did you say yours yet?
Not yet. You can go first.
I got a 9. Yes, that's my die. Perform for mommy.
I'm saying I got 16 first. They copied me.
Wait, was that a 13 or a 1? Just to clarify.
That was a
Number
20,
one.
of course.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Crap,
hit
last
us.
week was so long ago. No, just kidding.
It feels so long, but it is your go, Mr. Robot.
Accessing data. In the previous session, there was a lot that happened. Thank you very much. We walked through the wastelands. I don't know if I can do that the whole way. We'll go through it. The whole party, after forgetting Ashrin, and then not forgetting Ashrin, and then potentially remembering that we forgot Ashrin, then actually headed off to look for somewhere to be, and crossed quite a bit of land. We went and realized that we had to go in a different direction. When we arrived at a crossroads, we realized that there may be a city or town nearby and headed in that direction, where we encountered multiple processing enemies, and we eliminated all enemies in multiple processing methods, mainly using weapons that sound like this. After destroying multiple enemies, we found a arrow made of obsidian. Processing. Yes, it is some special hunter. And then we had a location nearby, town, village, not sure, we'll investigate potentially further, that brought out some individuals that we eliminated, and we have a few more to eliminate. Thank you.
So, I'm not sure if it's in character or not. I will ask 2 questions of 2 specific things. How many marks were on the tree? What number was counted to when you found the marks? And what was the name of the person that the orc asked, thinking that you were them, as did the 2 people that you killed?
Well, I don't have that information written down. I believe the marks were somewhere around the 7 mark, but I could be wrong. And I do not remember their name. I think there was some sort of dark hunter, black hunter, not hawk hunter, but
You got
I will not be getting.
You got all of them so close. It was 6, not 7, and it was the Black Archer, not the Black Hunter. I'll let chat decide your fate if you get the inspo or not, because the rest of it was in character and very well done. So if chat decides
see at the
inspo,
moment.
then you should get it.
My eyes heated up.
Chat says inspo, so you can go ahead and take your inspo. And as
Why, thank you, chat. I will remember this.
I will remember, Exy will remember this. As I have it here, Emma, Ordell, and Winter all have 1 GFY. I have 2, and I have 1 inspo. I don't keep track of other people's inspos. That's on y'all. So I know suddenly everybody has 5, but you know, that's where I'm sitting at. Yeah, I see exactly. Also,
I have 0.
it's because you fireballed people without asking questions. Which, you know, should have been in character. Should have given you one. Oh, well, 2020. Right. Anybody have anything else before we get started? Fantastic. Everybody grab a drink, pull up a chair, and come hang out with us at the Red Wagon Inn, where combat just, quote-unquote, ended as you killed the number of orcs and humans that were there. However, the 3 elves with daggers and magic have vanished from vision. You are now littered from the bodies that you have created around you. Everyone except XC is up on them. Ashrin and Winter are a slight ways away. Actually, Ashrin, you did go get up in the fight, correct? Yeah, so Winter, you are off in the trees nearby. Not up, you're maybe about 50 feet away. Ashrin, Emma, Ordell are all up in there with these bodies of orcs and humans and the other 2 elves that were there from before. And you have no idea where the 3 elves with the daggers have gone to. It is midday at this point. The sun is high in the sky. You can barely tell it's there, though, as it is going through those dark black clouds that seem to loom ever further towards the northwest. There's a slight breeze out, causing the dead trees nearby to move ever gently. You can hear the dust lap up against your legs and feel the heat of the area, but you cannot see the elves that are around. What is everyone doing?
I bend over and I cough out some blood because I'm a little bit hurt. I'm just gonna put my hand on like my shoulder chest area here and lay my hands on myself for 25 points.
As have we ever had you lay on hands describe before?
Nope, because it's my first time, and I always get nervous every time I say something I'm doing because people find out what I am.
Well, yeah, this might be the first full descriptor with lay on hands that's kind of irrefutable. So go ahead and give me a description of how that looks for you.
So, I just put my palm against my chest, and I'm imagining like through each of my fingertips, just little, I would say, a little swirls of black and like dark red swirling together, and like kind of pinpointing where all my slashes are, damages, and just start to slowly recede that.
Little strings and needles of fate find your wounds before slowly stitching them up together, and like the end of stitching where you just pull it all suddenly seals itself closed with no more blood pouring out of your body as everyone sees Ashrin heal herself. Other than that, you stand in silence. What are we doing?
I'm gonna give Ashrin my other health potion. So a potion of healing. So I no longer have any.
Take this if you need it later. You seem to be adept with this healing thing, so you may be able to recreate it, or just use it at your leisure.
Ordell, I need you to make a dex save without advantage, because you do not see this coming.
That is fair. Dex +2. No bonus. 14 total.
Okay. As you reach your hand out and say, here, you hand Ashrin the potion before it suddenly feel a slash go across the back of your hand, causing you to drop the potion as it shatters on the ground. You take...
Wait, someone hit me?
Someone slashed
Okay,
your
so
hand,
they...
yeah.
So I'm assuming they appear now?
They do. You take 16 points of slashing damage.
Cool.
An
Yeah,
elf-
Ordell's gonna go hog wild on him.
I shoot.
An elf stands there after cutting the health potion from your hand, holding his hand up, beginning to cast another spell quite quickly. But As XC has constantly been watching, we'll go ahead and let XC make a reactive shot first.
I'm gonna take that inspiration I got because that's another one. Okay, Brie, your die is getting sidebarred for the moment. All right.
Sorry.
I mean, that's not much better. I think it should still hit. 11 plus 8 is 19.
It does hit.
Wonderful. That would be 8 damages.
Okay. As soon as the elf becomes visible and you see his dagger pull away from your hand, causing you to drop the potion, Ordell, almost as his visibility slowly fades into person, a shot of blood flies out and lands across your chest as a bullet goes through the elf and out to the other side and lands somewhere in the dirt behind. The elf kind of instinctually holds back, getting ready, continuing to cast the spell. If the other 4 want to make a reaction before the elf can try and get away again, you can.
Yeah, I'm just gonna deck him.
Yep.
Actually,
We'll have Ordell go last because he kind of surprised you, actually. So Ashrin, you're right there. Ashrin, Emma, and Winter can make a reaction. Ordell, you still will get to before the elf. It will just go last out of the group.
Okay, so I did not get damaged. It was Ordell that got damaged, right?
Correct.
Alrighty, well, I'm just gonna roll to hit. Yep. Oh, that's a natural 1.
Ooh, Emma's doing her concerned face as Ashrin, you're kind of healing yourself, and while you're doing so, this elf appears and it kind of catches you off guard, and you stumble forward and you kind of trip into the dirt as you grab your rapier out. It is the opposite of the flourishes that you've typically been doing, and very embarrassing. Emma,
look around to make sure no one's like that.
As the elf gets shot, there are things that distract it. However, your laugh as you land in the dirt does attract some attention. Emma and Winter, you see this happen. What are the two of you doing?
I'm going to take out my dagger and go, you sneaky little bugger, and take a jab.
You are in the trees about 50 feet away.
Oh, that's right, because I climbed a tree.
Kind of. You tried.
I can't make a spell as a reaction, can I?
You can. This isn't a reaction. This is doing an action in reaction.
Oh, well, fuck yeah! I'm gonna cast a spell at them. I mean, yes, I shall cast a spell. What? So how far away?
50 feet.
Are they from me? 50 feet. Ooh. What do I want to do? Sorry. How about you ask Emma?
Emma.
Emma is 40 feet away, as per the last combat.
Okay, yeah, I
And
couldn't remember if you ran up and tried to stop it or
Emma's
not.
gonna waddle up. Emma's gonna waddle up 10 feet and just kind of stand there and take in what's happening.
Winter's gonna go, you're not going anywhere, and grab with chill touch.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's bad at padding things because that's a 10.
As your ghostly hand of cold flies towards the elf, he seems to have some connection to the arcane where normally you wouldn't be able to hit it. You can see he takes the dagger and stabs the palm of the hand and drops it right into the ground before rearing back as Ordell.
yeah, I'm just gonna take my full. Is this like a turn thing or an action?
This is an action. You can make an action.
Okay. Well, I'm still raging because of last combat, so yeah, I'm just gonna recklessly attack him twice.
Do it.
I'm assuming an 18 plus numbers hits, and then it was on the 20, and then it rolled to a 2 on one of them, but that's still 21 total on the other die.
2 plus 19?
Pardon?
2 plus 19 or with advantage?
No,
Gotcha.
I'm rolling with advantage because I'm recklessly attacking.
Gotcha, okay.
Because Ordell's angry. First one's 6 plus 3, so that's 9 plus 5. So 14, and then... Oh, and my first attack does another d6 of radiant. So that's 2 plus my level. What level are we? 5.
C.
So that's another 7. Or wait, no, or is it just my level? I think it's just my level. I have to double check.
I think it's half your level, by the way.
Is it half my level? Okay,
Yeah.
so then it would be not a D6. Or it is a D6. Wait, where is it? Why when I go to features and traits do I not have any of my stuff?
It's a D6 plus half your level for the
Okay, great. So then that was 4 plus 2.
cool. Total?
So yeah, so wait, it was the 14 plus 6, that's 20, and then the other attack, oh god. The other attack only does 3, 5, so 8 more. So 28 total in the round.
28. He, as you bring your maul down on him, you crack the back of his ankle and you hear the loud bone jet out on the other side of his foot as you take the bottom half of your maul and just hit him right in the chest, causing him to lay down prone. It is not quite enough. He is barely standing up as you see his hand vanish and he disappears from sight.
Well, actually, if we're doing a full normal action, can I take my second shot
Yeah,
the end?
absolutely.
as he's vanishing?
Mhm.
Alrighty. 14 plus 8 is 22.
Hits.
And we'll finish a shot off with 8 plus 3 is 11.
11. As he does vanish there, XC, you calculate and know that he has no chance to have moved yet, and you didn't see the dirt move around yet, so you just take a shot in that spot. Everyone sees him vanish before suddenly reappearing as blood flies off, a shot right through the shoulder, causing this elf to kind of writhe on the floor for a moment before slowly dying on the ground. You still haven't seen the other two. However, this one is definitely dead.
There's nothing salvageable of the potion, hey, when I look at the ground.
If you want to try and eat the dirt, you could. You might get the effect from it, but you might get some other infection.
Yeah, no, I think Ordell just like angrily picks this dude up by the head and just like starts like slamming the head back and forth on the ground. Ordell has like a bit of a tantrum because he's still raging, because those potions be valuable, and that's upsetting for him. So yeah, I think Ordell just has a bit of a meltdown.
Are
As
we
you
still
take
in
his hand,
initiative at the moment?
no, not right now. As you take his head and just start basically bashing it into the ground, there is a bit of liquid still in the ground, and it does have some effect. So where you first bash it, as you pull his head up, you see it kind of heal itself before you bash it yet again and heal and bash it until there is no more healing juice left to go, and you begin to see cheekbone beneath his skin. I need everybody to roll me a perception check. Winter and XC at disadvantage, since you actually, and Emma, since you're not right there. So Ashen and Ordell get to not have disadvantage.
I rolled a 15 and then I rolled a 1.
Also, Oleander says, Jeebus Rybo, Ordell's the one who said I wanted to keep bashing his head when he was dead.
No, that's fair. 22.
22, Ashen.
10.
10, Emma, XC.
Disadvantage 22.
As as Emma has concern, Ordell and XC, it's not nearby, but you can see dust kicking up on the road that leads back towards the camp or the town.
They're fleeing.
Calculating distance. How far away?
Ordell raises the hell out of his left hand.
I don't know if XC
Right.
remembers, but
How
as
far away are they, Ryan?
from there, they've probably gone maybe about 60 feet from the original group. There's remember about half a mile towards the town. They are still invisible, and you cannot see them.
That has never stopped me before.
You want to take shots?
No, I won't take a shot.
Okay.
Can we see like the dust moving? Is that how we know
Ordell and XC have not pointed it out. They have continued to run. If they do, then yes, but they are getting further and further away by the second.
I think Ordell would have, like, in saying that they're retreating and then pointed it out.
Now he does.
Why aren't we? Do we want them to be dead? Do we want them to be dead?
I don't know. They're running home, so they're likely going to report us.
I start to generate some flames in my hands.
Winter, as there is a
And
small
look.
kind of hill, just barely enough to where you can run up to the top of the hill and try and spot them in a last-ditch effort. Go ahead and roll me another perception at disadvantage. You generally know where they are, but they have ran from where they were last pointed out.
Perception. 17.
17. You see where Ordell pointed at the dust that was kind of gently flowing. You can try and make a guess and a rough shot by throwing, if you're looking, I'm guessing fireball is what you're trying for here. If you want
know
to
it, Rybo.
if you want to try it, you can aim down the road. There's basically 4 shots you could go for. You could go really far down the road, just a little bit past where the dust was, and on the left or right side of the road from where the dust was, and take a guess at where they're at.
I'm gonna. Is there anything like either side, left or right? Any cover?
The road sits maybe 4 feet up from the sides. It kind of is elevated compared to the rest. It's not cover to where they necessarily would have run to hide from you all, but it is less elevated than the road. They may have slid down there to try and go away rather than be a direct route.
And both sides are the same.
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna go just past where I saw the dust. And I'm gonna go a little to the left, but still on the road.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Fireball.
Do it. Okay. They need deck saves, correct?
They sure do.
Okay. Okay. So as Winter rushes up towards the road, you create a small light of green, I think you said before, green flame into the dust below. It's just a small bead. You're not certain that you're going to hit anybody. However, just before you ignite the air and the oxygen around, you do see one of the elves jump and duck out of it and land in the bottom of the road, trying to prevent themselves from getting hurt, but the other one does not react quickly enough and takes the full brunt of the damage. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Be nice to me.
As Winter runs up to the top of this small hill saying, "Do you want them dead?" Ordell's like, "I don't know, they're going before." A huge explosion is rocked from the corner and behind the small hill. Emma, Asher, and XC, you can only barely see the tower of this green flame that shoots upward into the sky. As how much damage is dealt?
27.
27.
I'm gonna need a range check, Ryan.
Okay. Let's see, from where you're at, they would be about 350 feet away from you at this point.
I shoot the guy who didn't get hit by the fire.
Okay, yeah, go for it. As he jumps off to the side, go ahead and roll to hit.
Does he take half damage as well?
He takes half damage because that was the flavor of him succeeding.
I'll use my last crit point to make it a violent shot.
Do it. I'm basically
the bad guys.
I'm basically assuming whenever you say I'm making this a violent shot, that is permission to describe it as such.
I can definitely do that. All right. Give me a second. A 19, I believe, hits.
19 does hit. Ashrin, Rain is defending you in the comments saying blood magic does not exist.
Thank you,
You
Rain.
hear a pop followed by a loud bang as it almost time slows down as this bullet flies an unbelievable distance, coming and hitting the elf that was jumping out of the fireball in the hip, causing him to spin in the air when he lands, doing a total of 23 damages.
23 damages. And you said the one who jumped out or the one who did not jump out?
The one who jumped out.
Okay, so let's. Uh, interesting choice. As he jumps out and lands on the ground, you see both of them visible now, scurrying backwards and away from the point of origin, looking up towards Winter, where the one who jumped in the ditch stands up and is shot in the hip. You can hear the crack of his hip bone flying out the side of his body as the bullet hits into him. Before he holds onto it, he is barely standing up, as is the other one. The one who just got shot with a bullet reaches his hand up towards you, Winter, and begins casting some sort of spell. The other one, no longer worried about invisibility, runs towards the town. What are we doing?
They're about to go out of my range, guys.
Full dash. I'm just gonna run after them. Ordell's still angry.
XC, you begin to see your giant football player go for a gut check towards both of them. One of them rushing towards the town, one of them in the ditch. Ordell, it will take you just a minute to get to them since they have been running. Which one are you going for?
You said it's a minute, like as in like a minute.
Not an actual minute.
Okay, because I was
Just
gonna say they're 300 feet away, and I
seconds.
have 100 feet of movement if I'm dashing.
Yeah.
Because barbarian. I'm gonna go for. Do either of them from like the damage look like staggered or anything, or does this look like they're both going at the same pace?
They both look pretty bad. However, the one who got his left part of his hip removed very quickly is not moving very quick at all.
Cool. I'm gonna go after that one. I am gonna put away my maul though, because the tavern brawler I can grapple and stuff if I hit him. So Ordell's gonna go for punches and gonna drag this guy back.
Okay. Are you aiming to kill or doing non-lethal, based on what?
Non-lethal.
Okay. As one of them rushes further down the road, Ordell begins rushing Maul back at the campsite there, or not campsite, but at the battle site, just head down and shoulder out, rushing towards this one who's kind of limping and crawling back away, holding his dagger up defensively, casting a spell towards Winter. However, this scene rushing towards him does distract him from his original casting intent. Winter, what are you doing? I see you got a finger ready to go. As you were muted. He casts silence as Winter begins.
I'm gonna put a copper wire up to my ear, and I'm gonna point at the one that Ordell is running towards, and say, "We're gonna make you strange, just like us," and whisper in its ear.
With Ordell rushing at them, go ahead and roll me an intimidation at advantage.
It's a 19.
Ordell.
Oh, intimidation.
Yeah.
Hold on. That's actually 23. 23.
As Ordell, you see this man as you're rushing shoulder down towards him. He looks up at Winter, having knowledge of the arcane, knows what's going on here, stops casting the spell, flips over onto their stomach, and begins running to crawl away before Ordell arrives and is having none of that, grabs by the ankles and just kind of throws to the side, dealing enough to knock them out, but not kill them. As Ordell, his head hits the side of a rock, and you begin to see a little bit of blood pouring out, but it's not coming out of the ear or the temple or anywhere that you would be too worried about. You know you've hurt him enough to where he's incapacitated, as the best word can describe. The other one seems to be running and would be a very difficult pace for you to catch. Has been running for some time and is getting closer to the town. There are also guard towers on where the gate of the town is, and is maybe only a couple hundred feet. XC, yes, I know you're definitely going to want to try.
I am, yeah. I think I've got one more shot in me at the 400 or so range.
Do it. Yeah, that would be just enough. You can make one shot at him.
I am going to use... I'm going to do my 2 shots in a turn, but I'm going to use a tracer.
Mm-hmm.
So what is a tracer? A tracer is a special bullet XC has that lights up when fired, and the following shot in the same round will be an advantage.
Do it.
You mean it's not a lovely English woman who goes, "Cheers, love"?
It's actually more like a Jakey boy who Tracer's images.
Ah.
Aw.
Ooh.
I don't.
Wait,
trace
he just
that.
called you a tracer.
I did. All right,
That's my
so
feelings.
I'll do the tracer shot first. That's a nat 20. Well, the tracer do all the work. So I believe the tracer does normal damage but doesn't have any bonuses, which means that 2d12s is 17 damages on the tracer.
So, XC, you see this lit shot as you place it in your arm. You press the mechanic on the side of it that begins to make it glow as you load it into the chamber. You pull the trigger just as you anticipate the shot. As he's moving towards there, he kind of stumbles for a second, which actually causes him not to get hit in the rump like you had planned to for the bullet to be able to follow, but instead he trips and falls over as the bullet catches just the bottom part of this elf's chin, spraying teeth and tongue just as far as the bullet goes. As there are no
As
more
a-
elves.
Well, to be honest, I would have continued with the second shot because that was what I was programmed to do with the tracer.
Oh,
so there's
if
going
you'd
be a
like
second
to.
shot that follows at advantage.
This is to make sure
Um,
Emma can't keep this one alive.
That's right. That's 18 and that's 15 damages. So I'll get rid of that bullet as well, unfortunately. But the following shot just finishes off any semblance of life.
As the body falls down, you make the second shot, and it hits just the part of the brain that causes the rest of the body one time to just spaz out before it lays flat on the ground, ceasing to move in any capacity. Ashrin and Emma, having walked just a little bit out to be able to see what's going on here, see the distant carnage of these elves.
All
There are
targets
no more
eliminated.
elves, orcs, or humans that you have seen come to talk to you in this area. For now, no one knows you're here. However, you have been making quite a lot of noise with fireballs and bullets.
I crouched to check out the potion to see if there's anything that can be salvaged. But I doubt it. And then I kick
Especially
it. and I just-
after Ordell, I don't know, you had to go for just a minute. Especially after Ordell bashed the head of the dead person into the puddle of the health potion. There may be for you if you use blood magic, but that would require an admittance of something that I don't think you're ready to admit. So nothing left
don't
there.
know what anybody is talking about ever.
Exactly. I'm on your side.
Whoa,
What are you talking
it's so weird. In the puddle of blood, there's actually just a compass pointing east.
about? You know what, Ashrin? It was just so unfazed by the head bashing that she just looks past that all and then still checks to
Oh,
see
wow, look at the potion in the
if the
dirt.
potion can be saved.
No, it is completely broken, glass all over, and the liquid into the dusty dirt.
Well, I bet those are going to be hard to come by here. And I just look around wherever we are. Damn. Shall we get moving?
Should we
I
maybe
head
have
back
a
to the party.
little? Yeah, I walk back. Ordell is Ordell still running towards the dead?
Oh, bless. Ordell's got him, and as was described, is dragging him back, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like there's while Ordell threw the guy to the side, there's like a moment where Ordell like looked like he was about to do the same thing, and his rage fades, and Ordell just kind of stops, straightens himself, and picks up the guy and throws him over his shoulder, and then just walks to the group.
Instead of the mall, picture this as a person being drug along the ground with your art, Jakey.
Winter's
Um,
gonna hold Ordell's arm and kind of stroke it and try and calm him down a little and say, maybe we should talk about how frequently and the kinds of people that we want to kill, just so that we all know going into it.
I did not want anyone to die here.
I know it
Oh,
just
I
kind
agree.
of keeps
Incorrect.
happening.
At least 8 people died here.
Hmm.
The goal was for less. whoever these bandits are, these raiders, they are people that are just trying to live like we are. We, in this instance, we struck the first blow, though it was miscommunication. As that stray bolt, that stray bolt could have went for either two of you.
As Ordell like kind of looks at Ashrin and Winter.
I suppose for the next, while we're interacting with this town, whatever that extent may be, we need to be mindful and careful. As, well, in moments we just probably became their enemy.
Well, they were very, very nasty as well. They were saying very, very mean things. And I'm not saying that if you say mean things that you should explode into fire every time, but
People have said much worse to me. It was not something I was concerned about. But
insight.
If you want to roll an insight, you can.
17.
How does she feel about
Ordell's
that?
not even good at lying. Ordell, I think of the entire altercation, Ordell was more like he was very angry but composed when like the dude was saying stuff, but the second Emma's character stood up for Ordell, that all kind of faded away of just like, I don't need to keep my cool, there's other people that this hurts. And I think then after seeing that what the dude was saying to Ordell was also being said to Emma, that's when Ordell was losing his mind. So Ordell isn't bothered by it, but the fact that it's affecting the others around him is really angering Ordell.
Mhm. Well, what do the hands mean again? Maybe we should like create a kind of code or something so that we can all communicate when we want someone dead or we want someone almost dead. Or Emma seems to want people alive like a lot for a bone queen.
We used a code in the military. It involves ones and zeros. I can recite it to you. 1001111000100001101, and then 10010001101.
And I start writing them in my journal, like grabbing a pen and being like, and trying to keep up with all the 1 0s.
What was that fifth? Was that a fifth one, a 0 or a 1? As Winter
A
scribbles
2.
it down. Winter, go ahead and roll me an intelligence check.
Nat 20.
Winter copies it down perfectly. Exy, if you ever say that, Winter will know that that means that person should die.
Affirmative.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so we go 1010100010101 if we want someone dead.
Unable to compute. That is okay.
As XC momentarily sparks fly out of the open half of his best described as cerebral unit before kind of regaining his vision and focusing back on you as you speak, Winter.
I'm gonna look around at everyone else, kind of like, no, yeah.
I think that's too long of a thing to say before we're gonna kill somebody. So or not.
I agree.
As Ashrin finishes her sentence, you hear kind of a loud, I need anybody who is proficient in history or survival to roll me a check.
I am proficient in survival. Ooh-wee.
Same.
Ooh-wee. 8.
9.
I am.
22 survival.
17.
I have critically failed my sanity check, which is why Emma hasn't said anything.
Emma's
the
just
last, like,
observing.
well, I guess Brie would have noticed, or not Brie, Winter would have noticed when she's looking around, but there are no floating eyes in Emma's eye sockets right now, and the glowing symbols on her horns are diminished, and she's just kind of there slack-jawed at the moment.
Oh no.
Winter and XC, what were your 2 rolls? Because I know Ashrin and Ordell rolled low.
17.
22.
XC, you recognize that horn to be an orc horn, and it is coming from the north of your position. As the
North
horn
is where the
rears
village
out,
is?
correct. As the horn echoes out through the landscape, Ordell, you can feel a wiggling in your hand as the kind of wakes up. Though you still have his legs elevated and his ankle is in your hand, he just kind of wakes up with a
Ordell's just gonna twist around immediately, like elbow to his throat, basically like pinning the dude down. So Ordell's got one fist by his head and he's pinning him.
We have questions and you have answers. Is that clear?
roll an intimidation. You can use your strength.
Okay. Heck yeah, that makes it better. Do I have advantage because I'm pinning him or just in flat?
Just flat right now.
I'm gonna use one of my things.
Your inspo?
No, my knowledge from past life, my last one for the day. Because I feel like it's a fun flavor moment. Whoo boy. So base total is a 15 plus 6. That's a 21 plus 4, so 25.
As you pin his throat, you can feel against your forearm breath and words try and escape his throat, but they just can't, and you don't let up to let them, as his eyes and his head shake barely up and down in acknowledgement. Fear completely stricken on this elf.
Ordell's gonna ease up just a bit. Ordell's gonna lift one foot though, and he's gonna pin his like left hand, and then with his other hand, he's gonna hold his other arm.
I've seen you all cast magic. I will break both of these hands before I let that happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A bit of blood spits out of his mouth.
Your city. Who are you lot? What do you go by?
We're Tadach's crew.
Or could you say that again and spell that for my notes?
Yeah, I will spell it in the chat.
Thank you.
As chat did name them and wondered if I even saw. So yes, this is Tadach's crew. Spelled in the chat as he says, we're Tadach's crew. Survivors. Taking over. NOV. It's our home base now. He spits out another bit of blood.
He said he's taking over. Oh, that's the. How do you spell that city again? That was the city you had mentioned prior, yes?
They seem to call it NOV.
Novograd.
No.
And like, as in like
NOV.
NOV as in like the letters or?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
letters.
Okay.
How long have you been staying there?
Since Tadach has taken over. Just a couple years now. You can tell his voice is not normally this gruff, but his larynx has been absolutely destroyed in the battle, both by the fire from Winter, as she gets a point of inspiration, look at a little cutie, as we describe what her mom did to burn the self, and from the harsh punishment you have injected onto his Adam's apple.
That's fair.
Says, few years.
This black archer that's been attacking your ranks, how long have they been a problem?
A few weeks now. Makes it hard for us to leave, gather supplies.
Are they specifically attacking supply parties or anyone who leaves?
Can you let up on my hand? Can you let up on my hand?
I'm gonna insight check that
Yeah,
because I feel like this dude is being a turd. 14 plus 4. I forget I have insight every time I roll it. 18 total.
You feel as you kind of wriggle your knee back and forth, he reacts, and you look down. 2 of his fingers were bent beneath your knee, and you've been causing him serious pain. He legitimately wants you to let up for reasons.
I let up.
Thank you.
So again, is it supply runs or is it anyone who
Yeah.
leaves?
Anyone who leaves has been getting picked off by the arrows. We can't even see them coming.
The orc that was slain, who was that?
And I'm gonna point at the body of the dude who basically like was super racist and stuff.
Super dead racist, as he's...
Yep.
He's just one of our captains. Just leading the scouting party. He's no one.
If we go to your town, as again, we are not your enemies. Your captains started this altercation, and as did your raiding party. Make that clear.
XC, as this conversation is going on, you've rejoined the group, you said, correct? Yeah,
Correct.
you were talking to Winter. As this is going on, you kind of look up and you can see movement in your peripheral vision. The gate has closed and reopened, as you can see people riding something. It's quite far in the distance, but they're riding something. A small group of people have exited the front gate.
What direction is the front gate?
To the north?
The north, and the orc horn also came from the north.
Correct.
Okay.
We have more approaching.
Brian, my steed is still up, right? It hasn't been
Correct.
attacked.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be with you at this point. It might have stayed by XC, but at this point, it would be with you. It's trained telepathically with you.
We are going to send you forward to this group. You're going to tell them we are not hostile. If you attack us again or send them to attack us, we will rebuttal. We are here traveling. I offered to get rid of this Black Archer so you all can leave. Do you understand me?
As you kind of put your knee back on his fingers and your elbow up to his throat. Roll an intimidation at advantage this time.
Natural 20. Not my bonus. It's actually lower than when I got it with my past life thing, so 24 total, but still high.
I was less afraid of you now. That did nothing. No.
That's fair.
Nat 20.
Ordell T-poses and floats away.
Nat 20, as you put your elbow back up into him, there's nothing left in this man. He can't even give you the acceptance. Tears just begin to pour out of his eyes, and he whimpers behind your elbow.
I'm gonna walk around Ordell and crouch down beside him and take a hanky out from my cloak, and I'm gonna kind of wet it a little and start to brush away and clean the soot and blood and dirt from this person's face that's on the ground.
Winter, as you begin cleaning this person's face, you notice that there's a lot of grime on him, more than just the damage from the battle that you all hurt him very much so with, caked on for a long, long time. Go ahead and roll me either a nature or history, whichever's higher.
So history, 22.
22. This is not a wood elf like you might have expected with the dagger and the magic. This is a high elf, seemingly doing somebody else's bidding, which is rare. They're normally in positions of advisory roles, but this one seems to have been in a scouting role. You don't know what that means, but this is a high elf.
Noted. Now, we have a wonderful family, and it is growing. Isn't it, Zoe? I'm gonna traumatize
The
this
coincidence of that, we have a wonder family that's growing. Baby noise.
child. And the more that you send our way, the more opportunity we have for our family to grow. I would gladly welcome you into our family. But as you can see, we prefer our family members dead. I'm going to keep cleaning and then give a little kiss on the forehead and stand back up.
He stares at you wide-eyed, seemingly more afraid of you than Ordell at this moment, with the juxtaposition of the cleaning and the harshness of wanting him dead. His eyes no longer fixed at Ordell, but fixed widened at you, Winter.
Ordell stands up off of him, and I just grab him by the shoulders, put him upright on his feet, and then just like spin him by the head. Go. And don't turn around.
He kind of stumbles for a bit as he still is missing part of a hip bone, as he kind of wanders forward, looking back at you all as if to question whether you'll actually allow him to go.
Ordell just run and do not turn.
At that, he just begins running and tripping and falling as he heads further to the north. XC, Ashrin, you both, since you've kind of looked and seen that direction, see riders headed his way, looking to meet him.
I
Do
spit
not
after-
shoot him.
What'd you say, Ashrin?
I spit after him after he runs.
As you see him trip and fall the first time before your feet, you spit as it lands on his coat as he runs further away, terrified of all of you. The stoic robot who now stares, calculating towards his allies, the skeleton who seems to not move. All of you have given some reason for this elf to give a lot of fear as he rushes towards the riders. As they approach a bit further, let's see who would be able to make that check. XC, give me another perception.
That's 8 plus 7 is 15.
Okay. You don't... At this distance, you can't quite make out what they're riding, but this seems to be a mixed race group of riders coming towards the man. They're probably a little over a quarter mile away at this point. There's still kind of a rough and uneven terrain on the road before they stop and talk to the elf that you let run away. One of the riders hops off of their mount and begins speaking to him more directly, face to face, but they do not pick him up and bring him on to their mounts. You all have a moment here, standing away. They very much can see you, and you can very much see them at this point, though details you can't quite make out at this distance. What are the five of you doing?
So where did we land on that communication of if we should kill people or not?
We need to communicate. It's a must.
Think in a
This-
quick and efficient manner.
So these guys, I'm assuming from the conversation we just had with their friend that we're not going to kill them.
No, we're not. If they attack us, we defend ourselves as we can. But they have greater numbers, and I'm assuming more, and riding animals. If we fight, we will likely be slaughtered. So if the option presents it to come peacefully, we must. All of us.
Are you enjoying your day?
Do you want the honest answer or a polite answer?
Both.
I'm bleeding from several places. I have a cracked rib. I lost a very valuable resource today. And I made a man wet himself. Today's a pretty good day.
Give him a big hug.
For Winter
Ordell,
and Ordell's intimidation performance, both in the cleaning up and everything that's happened, both of you can take a point of inspiration.
Hey, Ryan,
Hey, Alex.
roughly how many riders are there?
I'd say about 12.
I
boy.
leans down next to Ashrin and goes, there may be enough people for you.
So she'll stand there and she goes like, "Huh. Well, or you mean us?"
Us. Confirmed.
I'll let you lead the way once they get here. Well, yeah. 14, right?
Right.
As
Wardell's gonna walk up to Emma before we have that. Emma's like catatonic. Yeah.
Emma has been staring with the 1,000-yard stare, though no eyes to give it, in the same direction from where the fighting first began. As soon as Emma kind of walked gently forward to try and find a peaceful resolution to this and fighting began, Emma seems to have frozen, facing that direction.
So you said Emma's eyes aren't glowing. Is Emma's chest still glowing?
Emma?
Yeah, the fire is still there.
Ordell, because my rage ended, but I'm gonna try something. Ordell is gonna glow. I'm gonna use up another rage. As Ordell glows that golden glow, he's gonna put his hand near this flame of Emma's, and as I don't know if it hurts or not or what, but Ordell's gonna try and basically like place like 2 eyes into like Emma's sockets from like fingers to there. It's a flavor thing, and I'm using a rage at one of my 3, but Ordell wants to try it. Yeah.
So, as you reach into one more time, which part of you reach into before?
Ordell's gonna take like basically his hand and like kind of like try and scoop some of the fire because he's seen Emma do the thing where she
Got it,
takes
okay.
some and then places it where she does that. So Ordell, I'm assuming not as graceful as taking one hand, is going to try and take like a full hand and just basically like. I think Ordell specifically would try and take, and if he gets some in his hands, split it among his hands, go down the horns and to the eyes, and if he can only get it on like a finger, just try and get it into one thing. Whatever
need
damage or
2
things I need to
checks
do.
from you.
Okay.
An intelligence check first, and then a constitution save. Intelligence,
Okay.
just straight mod.
Okay, intelligence. Not actually horrible. 16.
You recognize you are essentially reaching in to grab Emma's heart. Possibly a bad idea for you and Emma.
Then can I try similar to what she did, then just finger instead of like Ordell's whole hand? If I know that, then
Definitely.
because I've seen her do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So Ordell reaches in beneath the rib cage, taking just a finger, like in a jar of peanut butter, just taking a small scoop of flame off of Emma's heart to dab into Emma's eyes to kind of reset her. That's where I need the con save from you, Ordell, and Emma.
It's fair. Ooh. Oh yeah, I forgot con is my best stat. I was like,
Barbarian.
man, my con save barbarian, because I went con barbarian instead of strength barbarian. So that's a 17 plus 8.
Cool.
So 25.
Emma? Beautiful.
Oh god.
As Ordell, you reach 2 fingers into the flames, and it catches the very tips of your finger on fire. You can feel it begin to singe your fingertips. It hurts, but this is like snuffing out a flame. If you've done it enough times, you have the calluses, you can do it briefly before it causes any problem. So you quickly dip the fire and poke Emma's eye sockets. Emma, someone just took 2 peanut butter scoops out of your heart. You're going to take some damage from that. And your kind of catatonic state, don't worry about that. Now what you need to worry about is survival.
Yep.
Emma, you take 24 points of damage.
Oof.
But your vision resumes as the flames hit your eye with somebody's fingers inside of them as you feel your heart burning intensely. As a result, Ordell has basically given you a point of inspiration, but it hurts to have received.
I'm gonna turn down my mic for a second. As Emma like shoots back and then immediately into the ring.
Ordell, as your fingers poke into the skeleton's face, you hear a deathly wail coming from her skeletal figure as her bones kind of rattle before she vanishes and disappears into the ring of Ashran. However, you did see light in the eyes, so possibly a good thing.
Hotel, why did you poke Emma in the heart?
Experimentation.
We're just gonna run over to Ashton and like grab her by the hand and like look at the ring up close and try and figure out what just happened.
Ashran and Winter, both throw me an investigation.
Not on that dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
That was a 7, but I'm gonna use one of my inspirations to
Okay.
reroll. Fuck this. It's a 1.
Much better. Winter, you go to grab the ring on Ashran's hand and take a look at it. You basically are doing the kid like, let me see, as Ashran's like, hold on. And she's the one like actually taking a look inside the emerald. And Ashran, you can see the lights kind of glowing and burning almost like a wildfire rather than a contained fire that's gentle and simmering on its own. It seems to kind of react and dash and move violently within the emerald. Something is not happy.
Ordell, that was something. It's the first time I've ever seen the ring this way. I'm kind of happy she's in there right now.
Exy, can you add something to your like memory bank?
Affirmative. Experimentation is advised when grabbing heart, and a hand starts reaching towards.
No. Stop. Ordell, stop. Tell him to stop. Tell it to stop. Tell it to stop.
Winter has to bat Xy's hand away with her book.
Exy, cease.
Exy, can you log don't touch people's hearts?
Affirmative. Do not touch people's hearts. This is general programming for Xy.
Right. So if we want to kill somebody, what should we do?
We
Do not touch people's heart. The heart is a very suitable location to perform a clean kill.
That's true, but if we touch our own hearts, meaning to kill other people, then it might hurt.
Do not understand. You see this flap sort of open up, and there's a mechanical piece there, and Xy just puts its finger towards it and then pulls it out. The flap closes.
if our indicator for killing someone,
And Ordell's going to hold up 3 fingers.
3 fingers on the heart. If it's a whole hand on the heart, it means we trust this person. Then it could be for bows or anything. If it's 3 fingers, that means we are going to get ready to fight. 2 fingers means we fight now.
Winter writes down in the book. 3 fingers kill. 2 fingers fight now. Whole hand. Don't
Acquaintance
kill?
or friend. Cease, yes. Like if I were regarding each of you, you are my friends.
Oh,
Xy's eyes flicker purple for a split second. An image appears in its mind. It's an image of a discussion between multiple Warforged. Xy remembers this. It was after inauguration and programming, after their first battle, and a Warforged, code ZY, was asking how come there was so much confusion with biological's information. They needed multiple layers of information to convey a simple 1 and 0. Why was this important? Why were they not efficient? Why were biologicals built in a way that did not make efficient sense? Xy's right eye flickers back from purple as only a split second passes. Understood. We'll program these commands into my programming.
Thank you.
XC, as you kind of stare off momentarily as the dream of sheep that happens within the machine, your vision returns and you begin to see the riders headed in your direction. Sans, the elf, they seem to have been past them, but you do see all 12 riders continually riding your way.
Drop weapons.
Riders approach.
Stand tall.
Ordell's gonna take his maul and just like plant it in the ground beside him.
As
He will take 5 steps back.
Winter, Ashern, what are you two doing? Winter.
You're muted.
They
Both
cast
of us.
silence and shoot you from afar. Roll initiative.
I'm gonna pull out my umbrella, and I'm going to straighten my dress and put away my handkerchief and stand firmly next to Ordell.
I'm going to get on my steed and then take my rapier out.
Ashern, you mimic their height as you sit regally atop your steed. Winter with her parasol, Ordell and XC standing nearby, XC standing at the back of the group, and Emma vanished within the ring. Ashern, as you mimic their height, it also allows you a little bit better view as you see them approach, but you all begin to see what they ride upon. Half of them are riding on horses. Half of them are riding on wolves. All of them are riding on creatures that seem to be half alive. As you begin to see through them, holes peering through some of their shoulders, some of the wolves missing entire parts of their snout, horses with no stomach to show of but ribs sticking out beneath their ribcage. They ride dead as they ride towards you. An old man atop one particularly dead horse rides at the front of the group, as well as few behind. It seems to be mostly that the orcs and elves are riding on the wolves as the humans ride upon the dead steeds. They approach trotting towards you all. XC, roll me 1 perception.
I rolled you a 1 perception. That was a 1 plus 7, so that's 8.
Beautiful. You are fixed and focused on these dead steeds and wargs. As they ride up and approach, the old man, clad in robes, is accompanied by several figures, all in varying degrees of armor, though similarly painted and with leathers beneath that seem to indicate that they are of some group associated with the raiders that you killed before. Most of them that are not the old man clad in robes are wearing half plate or splint armor, so heavy armored riders as they approach. The old man looks at you, Ashern, as he stops maybe about 10 feet away from your party. The old man doesn't seem to have a weapon on him, where the others are very heavily armored, some of which have very long spears held out at the ready, as if mounted combat is something they do quite often. They seem to be very formidable as they approach, the 12 of them. The old man looks at Ashern before looking down at the other 3. What's this, then? Some pack of rigor morti come on my doorstep and kill my friends and my men. You look new here. You're not dirty. Who are you?
I take it you are
I'm not
Taddage.
speaking to you. I'm speaking to the rider. The one clad in armor, the crimson one. Speak with me, girl. Who are you?
I look at him and I look him up and down.
She is
What
muted,
is he?
as their silence spell is so
Wow.
potent and so powerful I don't
Me?
even know if she's meant
Jackie's
to be
not muted.
Oh, shoot. No, you're not
She's
muted.
not.
I undid my headphone.
I was like,
You're not muted at
I'm
all.
green?
Their silence spell breaks the fourth wall.
Oh man, they got you right in the aux port. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. Sprint. Okay, so I was saying, oh, I look at him. I don't even move when he addresses me. I only move with my eyes and look him up and down. What race is he?
He's wearing a hood. He looks to be either human or elf, though you can't see his ears. He's gaunt, but it looks to be due to malnutrition more than it necessarily is elvish features. You can't quite tell offhand. You can
Oh,
see
so
a
no.
bit of his hair. It is kind of grayish black. It seems to be old as this kind of very unwashed, unkempt hair makes its way out from the hooded robes.
Got it. So he does not look like me
He does not.
in the. Okay. Well, we are new. What?
Correct. I can see that. I can see by your clean faces and your washed hair. You have only just come to the Banished Lands. The two of you, I see, though you have picked up stragglers or brought them with you. The elf seems to think that you come peacefully, and that it is our fault, not yours, that you have had to kill so many of Taddage's men. Am I up to speed?
Yes.
If not a little rude.
Forgive my manners. 'Tis a harsh environment in which we find ourselves in, and I do not fancy the dead.
Or maybe they don't fancy you, sir.
Good. Then they best not come to my town, as he looks to Ordell.
Funny they're good enough for you to ride upon.
Indeed, slaves they are to be. They have no will of their own anymore. I heard there was a fifth of you. Where hides your skeleton?
Here.
Magic rings. All right, I have a few of my own back home. So you keep your slaves locked up for personal use later, I understand. You want to take care of the Black Archer, I hear.
I don't know that word of which you speak of, but slaves is not in our dictionary.
See, you speak common. We speak a similar tongue. I know you know the word.
Tell me, how long have you been here in the Banished Lands?
Well, let's see. If you count when I was still in my father's sack, 70 years or so. I've been born here.
Oh, so you've been born rude then?
Been born a survivor, girl. You're new, you'll get used to it.
Right, but I don't think I'll become you or like you.
Best for all your friends involved, then. Do you want
What
to
do you
help us
want?
with our archer problem, or are you wanting to make an enemy of Taddage?
I see there's multiple of us here and you're only addressing me. Rude.
Very.
My friends and I make decisions together. So talk to us together.
You can see kind of his lip kind of raises up almost as in disgust. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Oh. 19 plus 2, 21.
He looks down at the other three, though Ordell, he doesn't look much down to be able to look in your eyes. Says, very well. What do you... And he sniffs in the air. The necromancer, the garbage can, and the rigor mortis decide.
Winter's going to put 2 fingers up on her chest.
Ordell does that thing where he's not even looking at like Winter's and just pushes her hand down like
Unable to process. No orifice able to take garbage.
I'll keep the joke I was gonna make. We'll leave that one as he looks at you. Right.
Can I ask what this black archer has done that is so terribly, horribly bad? Because if you were just as rude to him as you are being to us, then perhaps he had a right to shoot you. Just saying.
I understand it is kill or be killed out here, and he has chosen to kill. He wants what we have. He wants our town. He wants everything destroyed. He finds that we own too much. He attacks our women, our children, our men who go to the watering hole to feed. Coward that he is, he hides in the trees. It's hard to spot him. He's very good. We want him dead. He kills far more of us than we have ever laid a finger on him. We don't even know his true name. We only know what he goes by. We've heard others who've come into town speak of him as if he is not localized to here, but travels across the banished lands. But he seems to have made camp outside of our town.
And say that we do get rid of him. How do you know it's a him?
As he kind of looks down towards Winter and then back at Ashern, he's a good shot.
That doesn't mean anything.
He kind of sniffles and he kills a lot. He's wandered all around the town. We can't seem to find an entrance or exit to leave without finding an arrow in one of our crew as they return.
So tell us what we get if we get him.
Well, I say, since you've killed, what is it now? 8 of our men? What if we just call it even and allow you entry into NOV? You can eat your fill before
Incorrect.
you move on your way.
10.
Who are the 10?
XC sort of sparks and then goes quiet again.
As I have it here, he says, the elf that approached me, oh, you are correct. 9 you killed. I killed the other.
One
I
who
looked-
approached you, you killed.
I did. As you look back
You're right.
now, you see there is a slumped over body on the road behind you.
You're right.
Or
Undead and you, we do think very differently.
I may have just saved some of my other men's life by not having to provide food for cowards. I think for the greater good of NOV.
Interesting.
And what of those who don't think like you?
Be on your merry way.
So it's share your views or no resources.
I don't see why I should share with somebody who wouldn't work to make our populace thrive. He leans back as one of the orcs approaches him and whispers something in his ear. He kind of nods. Doesn't say a word back to you. For he looks onwards and says, so, since you decide as a group, are you to find this archer?
I look to everybody else. And I go, 2, 3, 2. No? Yes? Just like,
Ordell, it's your day.
We will look into this, Archer, but we are nowhere near even. Your men attacked us. If you are a survivor, you understand the survivor's way. Kill or be killed.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion. Unless you're lying to him, then I need a deception.
No, Ordell's not lying.
Okay.
Can I assist?
If you'd like to, you'd have to add to.
Can I grab my gun and just go? Ch-ch?
That would work for
Automatically.
me. You are a warforged. You pull
Hunting season.
your arm out as.
Ooh, that's way better. It was originally a 12, but that's a 17 plus 1, so 18.
He looks you up and down one final time before he kind of stops and stares at XC. Says, before he loses his attention, seemingly in some thought towards XC that he doesn't vocalize, where he says, "Good. Bring me proof of the archer's demise. Bring his bow and his head, and I will find you entry into NOV. We're to collect our dead here so that you don't bring them back." He nods his head and kind of snaps his fingers one time. Some of the riders move over towards the corpses that you all have made and begin adding them onto the back of their mounts and steeds.
How close is he to us?
About 10 feet away.
Okay. I'd like to walk up, and is he on a horse or a wolf?
He is on a horse. There are 11 others that are now basically all around you as they're grabbing the bodies from around and nearby where you all have littered them.
I'd like to put down my parasol and hang it on my arm and stroll up to the horse, not making eye contact with him, but looking into, if it still has eyes, the eyes of the horse, and approach to pat it.
You quickly look at the face. There is just muscle and bone on the other side, but you approach the side that does have a remaining eye, though very little fur and skin nearby it, as it kind of whinnies and moves away from your touch, seemingly to have still horse-like instincts, not directly just controlled by him. As you approach the horse, he looks down at you kind of disdainfully. What are you doing?
Can I try and just carefully let it sniff my hand and then try and cup the side of its cheek that looks the most dead?
Oh, yeah. As you approach it, the horse kind of breathes out heavily, though you're not sure where the lungs would be that it gets air. A cold breath exits its nostril as you reach your hand up to the dead side and stroke the muscles that would be very dry now as they've been exposed to air for some time, and just gently caress the horse. As he looks down at you, says, "I knew I was right when I smelled you, necromancer."
All I smell is shit. Then I'm going to turn away and walk back to my friends.
As that is happening, Ryan,
Mhm.
XC's going to bend down, put his head next to Ashran's ear.
Ashran is up on a
Do you
horse,
have-
so you will have to get up higher, actually.
That's okay. I will extend up to her ear.
Mm.
And do you have a rolling device?
rolling device?
I count at least 16 people.
XE, I don't think now is the time. Unfortunately.
Affirmative. Resetting programming to not be the next time we have enough people.
Oh, thank you.
As XC returns stoic, you wouldn't know what he was about to either infer or say or suggest as he stands there emotionless next to Ashran like a guardian. As the riders all have retrieved their corpses, they return behind the old man as he has not moved his horse or missed a gaze between the four of you at all. He looks...
Before he leaves, sorry.
No, go for it.
Ordell's gonna pull out some parchment because Ordell's been scrawling a map slowly, like with the Outlander thing.
Can you indicate to us where your watering area is and the last time this archer was spotted? Or the carnage they invoked? I'd like to map a pattern of movement.
He reaches his hand out for the paper,
Hand it to him.
takes a look at it. I'd give you a better map if I didn't trust you to lose it, but he reaches down to a small bit of chalk, and based on the crude map that you've made here, and says, "We've traveled all the way east and come back, I see." Actually, he circles a spot that you've traveled before. Looks like you visited the watering hole there.
All right. Say if you weren't going to give me a map, how much would you charge me for a map?
Maps out here are as valuable as gold, especially ones that are accurate. The landscape changes far too often. I have the one, and I would not give it freely.
Hence why I asked if I had gold to give you for it. Because that I have, and a map will make this significantly easier on both of us, as I know you don't like me. And based on your attitude, I have no reason to like you. But if this is to go smoothly, helping us is your best option.
If you can't even find him without a map, if you're not even good enough trackers, then I don't think you'll find the archer at all. We've had patrols looking for him for days.
Well, we're not like your patrols. We're thorough.
He looks to the side of one of the horses with one of the dead men on it and says, "I see that." Very well. He takes the paper, and you can see he reaches into his pouch, and a sudden sparkling of glitter and chalk rains down from his hands as he seems to make the imprint of the lay of the land on your map out here, though noticeably absent anything around the town. It's just the areas that you've basically visited thus far to the east and south near the gate.
So it's almost like Breath of the Wild style when you get a specific tower kind of vibe.
Yeah, you get the
Cool.
the douchebag tower this time.
Okay, cool. Ordell's gonna take that.
I appreciate it.
He says, "Hold on." So he flips you a coin, Ashran, as he flicks it towards you. It is a single platinum coin. Says, "For your troubles to get started. More of that if you find this archer."
I'm going to try to catch it really coolly. Like, I'm trying to not change my body language much around him. I don't want him to show that, like, I'm listening much to him, so I'll just stick my hand out as far as it can. Can I dex save to see if I catch it?
Oh, yeah. If you want to do... You'll definitely catch it with your base dex, but go ahead and roll a sleight of hand to see if you do something
Okay.
very cool with it.
Okay. Cool. 18.
As it lands in your right hand, you don't lose the locked gaze you have with the man. Lands in your right hand, and you flick it over to your left hand and catch it and put it in the pouch that's on your left side without looking at either hand.
And I keeping on contact with him.
Right. If we don't see you soon, good luck. He did see you chat with us, and so you're now as much a target as we are. Have fun. For he whistles and turns back towards the town. as
And
the
as
party rides away.
as soon as we get out of earshot, I turn to Winter and I'm like, "Guy was an asshole, right?
He was such an asshole. Such an asshole.
He was so fucking rude. God damn." Oh,
He's
did you see that? Did you see that?
that was
part?
really cool. That was yeah, that was really cool.
Oh, dude, I thought I almost dropped the coin. Oh.
No. You looked really cool, and like your hair is kind of like blowing a little bit, and you look super hot. Wasted on him, but still.
Oh. 70-year-old grumpy old man.
Ugh.
Asshole.
So elves, right? High elves.
Yeah, what's about that? Aren't they usually like the pompous kind of sort? Like,
Well, it's unusual for high elves to be out here, right? Taking commands from people, but he just killed that high elf in the dust.
uh, mm. Would I know anything about this at all? No, I don't think I would.
Asherin, you are an elf. You know of the other elves. I'd let you roll a history check on that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. 18 flat.
18. You've been studying with Winter about this land, and before you were planning to come here, just making sure you knew generally the history of it in case it became relevant in any sort. High elves once held a place of great power, as they do much with the rest of the world, largely in advisory positions, as their knowledge is fruitful, though they don't ever want the necessary limelight like their golden cousins would. They just want to manipulate from the background, see the fruits of their labor, and basically impart their knowledge and see things grow. That was true here in Korra, just as it is everywhere else. In Korra, there were many high elves in positions of advisory functions once upon a time. Who knows what happens when those positions have broken down over the past 200 years?
It's also curious to me that with magic so available to that individual, that they were still so unclean.
Well, I mean, I have magic available to me, and I don't have anything that can make me clean.
I may
Sure.
have input to this conversation.
I
Of
turn my head to
course.
look at Lexi.
In times of war, cleanliness is not always the most important aspect.
So I guess the wars aren't over. Not out here.
Potentially.
XC, as you look up towards the gate in the midst of this conversation, with your perception, you can see the riders dragging the one you let go behind, not ceremoniously upon their steeds, but with a rope in the dust back to town as the gates close and shut behind.
I think perhaps we should check on Emma.
I just slap the ring. No? I rub the ring.
I would say that the ring probably feels very, very cold, almost to the point where it almost hurts to wear it.
Oh, okay, all right. She's not happy in here. No. Emma, Winter, and then I'm just gonna like feel this.
Winter's gonna take it and kind of
It's quite cool.
look inside and shine it a little bit and say, Bone Queen, are you okay?
Emma, do you come out?
Nope.
Winter,
Not rolling well tonight.
you look into it. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, since this is the first time you've gotten to take a look at it.
That's going to be 23.
You can see the flame is, again, as described to Ashran, quite wild and moving very rapidly, though it feels very cold in your hand. There's some inner turmoil within this magic. Whatever is creating this fire is either scared or sad or mad or just wanting, just angry in general.
It's okay, Bone Queen. It'll be your day soon.
No,
Emma.
Emma's still in the ring momentarily.
Emma, you've been observing all of this happen, this conversation. You've had to hold yourself back because there's many things you would have said very differently to this individual as he was speaking to the group, but you've decided to keep yourself in the room. Looking around you, your vision has returned to you, your sanity, your person, your being is there. However, a feeling of burning in your eyes and heart that hadn't been there in quite a while just kind of lingers, as if, you know, when you're grilling something and you accidentally touch it with your hand and it just kind of pulses, though you don't have any veins in which it would send blood to make it pulse. It's odd. It feels weird. You've never had anybody touch that part of your heart and then immediately your eye sockets. As Winter, Ashran, Ordell, Lexi kind of stare at the ring with no real change to it.
There is a word for that. Sorry.
Yes, Alex.
Alex?
Oh, good. I was talking about the touching the heart and the eyes. Moving on.
As you sit in silence looking at the ring.
Ordell has left, and he's looking at the tree and stuff. Basically, the second the conversation ended, Ordell heard like people start talking. But yeah, he's gonna go to the tree where the tallies are, and Ordell's gonna start just checking if there's any evidence of like food scraps, like anything, clothing tears. Like he's just gonna start observing trees and see if there's a pattern of things. And he's gonna particularly pick high vantage points and things that are like a good cover.
Being that you're so large, if you want to get to those high vantage points, you could try and climb these trees, though they are dead, so you do risk toppling them over. But how are you looking? Are you attempting to mimic what you think a hunter would do, or are you just trying to find information?
Probably what a hunter would do, because
Okay.
that's Ordell's like expertise.
Go ahead and roll a survival for me then.
Okay. Ooh. Dice Encounter's got such a pretty looking logo. 24
Ooh, is that another nat 20?
with the Loki dice.
Nat 20, baby. We have an emote for that now. That some gifted artist made for us. Ordell, as you go to the trees, you find the one that has the 6 tally marks on the top of it that Ashran pointed out. You can see they were carved in there with some dagger, and you begin looking around for any signs of tracks where they might have gone. As you look to the ground, you find 2 things. One thing that you're accustomed to having done when you were a child and needed sustenance and were going to be out for long hunts. You find a patch of leaves that seems to have been piled up, and underneath there are scraps of jerky and food meant to be hidden as far as the scent from anybody who might smell it coming downwind, any predators, any prey. This person is very much a gifted and talented hunter. You know this, you know what they're doing. That is both good news and bad, that you know that they seem to have wild hunting type actions and attitudes, but that also means that they will be very difficult to track. But with your natural 20, as you find the food, you pick it up and you're smelling it, and you look across at some of the other trees. You notice that there's no footprints on the ground. So you see that there is one tree over there, and you see a bit of bark is off of one of the branches that sticks out. This person seems to be climbing and traveling between the trees up at the top as to not leave any footprints. So you could search outside of the small grove here of trees to try and find some, or you could follow those trees along and get a general direction where they might have gone or come from.
Ordell's gonna look over his shoulder.
Talk as much as you need and collect what you can. I'm going to keep looking. I think I have something.
And yeah, Ordell's gonna try and just basically visually map like what trees would line up, because I'm assuming now, like, based on the distance covered, like, can I? Ordell's not gonna obviously like Batman sense like detect a weight kind of thing, but can I get like this is an average human jumping, or this is supernaturally far for someone?
Go ahead and roll me investigation.
Not my good suit. Yeah, 12 total.
12. It seems to be moving between each branch, not jumping. Best description I could give. They're not doing the Naruto jump from like one tree to one tree to one tree, right? They're climbing between the branches as if they've had to kind of balance upon them. So they're not jumping very far. But
okay, cool.
That doesn't exactly give you skill away from this person, just knowing that they're not jumping great distances.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, Ordell's gonna map up where like trees. This makes it infinitely easier then because they're not jumping. Ordell's just gonna link where branches link and look like they could support someone's weight, and he's just gonna follow that as a path towards the edge of the forest.
Okay. What are the? Oh, you're gonna follow Ordell?
Yeah.
Okay. Ashrin and Winter, what are the two of you doing right now?
I'm gonna keep kind of whispering and trying to soothe the ring and try and warm it, kind of wrapping it in my cloak and rubbing the surface to see if I can get any warmth back into it as I walk. And then just reciting any recipes that I know that I've read about in books that I read at home. Maybe like a scone or something. And just and that pairs really well with a nice dried tea. It can be really soothing, and it can make some people say that you can feel it in your bones. And you have it with jam and cream.
While she is kind of talking to the ring, I'll just go like, Winter, so you can focus on that. Would you want to hop on the back?
Oh, thank you.
And then I'll help Winter get on, and then I'll guide us to follow the rest of the crew.
Okay. Ashrin and Winter on the back of your steed, slowly going beneath and around some trees as you follow Ordell and XC, as they seem to be following any indication of footsteps and broken branches. Luckily for you, Ordell, these actually are dead trees, so most footsteps lead to broken off bark on all of the branches as this person has gone through the trees. So you're able to follow it to the edge of the grove. It's not a very large grove. You can even begin to see further the town from this location. This would have been a decent vantage point to see people coming and going from that main gate, though you can't see inside. You're a little lower than NOV. If you wanted to see like further in the town, you'd have to get to a higher spot. So this must have been where they were watching people come and go in this small little grove here. As you get to the edge of that grove, you find the last tree, and then you find a lack immediately of footprints. I'm going to go ahead and need another survival check from you.
Could I assist XC or XC assist me for this? Because XC's now like probably side by side with me.
XC was just saying that you're following, but if you want to help out on that XC, you absolutely could, or take the lead.
I feel like on the walk I would have been giving XC direction of like, this is this, this is this. You are the marksman here. Like, give me your notes, status report, essentially.
I am built for tracking to eliminate individuals.
This individual we will not eliminate just yet. I want to hear who they are first. If they have a good reason for dealing with these raiders, they may be a better ally.
I will help you locate this individual.
You can have advantage, XC.
Can I take an inspo? Because that's 2 2s.
You should have plenty of extra inspo.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're draining like no tomorrow. That's a lot better. Okay, Survival, right?
Yep. Well, for you, it would be investigation. The way Ordell's been tracking it would be survival.
Can I do it survival if I want to?
Describe to me, since Ordell's been doing it basically from hunter to hunter, describe a way or why XC would be able to use survival instead of investigation.
Because XC was programmed and trained to hunt particularly high individuals in the opposing army, and so being out alone and tracking individuals at a singular basis.
Fair enough.
Quite based around it.
Survival would
Well,
work for
then
me.
that is a 24.
24. Okay. By the way, everybody, this having Emma in the ring has been such a good way to hide the fact that Drew's not actually here. He's just a video chat version of himself. That's why you haven't heard from him. XC, with your 24, with your 24, as you searched on the ground, based off of these trees' locations, you look where anybody who could have jumped off of these trees would have had to have landed and left some sort of tracks and marks, or even anybody who is supernaturally gifted and could jump incredibly far off of these things to hit the ground and move further would be. As you look all around, you are certain that there are no tracks here. This is where they would have had to have gone, but you are certain, beyond any doubt, that there are no tracks here.
There is one of only two conclusions I can come to. One, this individual can fly, or two, this individual is still here.
As we pause there, seems like a good place to stop. 7:54. Let's come back at 8. That's a 6-minute break. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you enter the giveaway. Right when we come back, we'll do the giveaway for the blind glyphic bag giveaway from Level Up Dice. And we'll go right into it. So this will be a short break, and we're going to come right back in. Sound good? Fantastic.
Great.
Nice.
BRB. Welcome back from the break. It's time to do a giveaway. So John, why don't you go ahead and find out who won that Glyphic Blind bag, courtesy of Level Up Dice. And make sure when you get that, open it and let us know if you got the rare one or not. If you got the Charizard of Glyphic Dice. Just because I keep seeing more Pokemon cards things. Boba Keen, congratulations on your win.
Boba Keen Fosroda.
Fosroda. You're finally awake. As all of you who are mad that Boba Keen won, don't worry. There's a second one for a giveaway. So stick around and go ahead and enter this next one. Congratulations, Boba Keen. Let's continue. As you just said, perhaps they are still here or they have left in some other manner, XC. XC says that out loud to Ordell, where Ashran and Winter can hear. Emma, you also can. You're just in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
As that thought lingers.
I
in the
apologize.
air.
I will repeat. There is only two logical explanations. One, they can fly, or two, they are still here.
Ordell's gonna just call out for shits to see if something happens. He's just gonna yell,
Black Archer, if you're here, we would like to talk. We know you have the skill to probably take us out one by one. I'd prefer conversation first. We can fully disarm ourselves if you'd like.
Plus, we totally get why you kill these guys. They'd be dicks.
Yes, that too.
Winter says as she's looking at the ring, they be dicks. Continues to look at the ring. You call out and hear your voice echo on the distant landscape and in the trees. You wait just a minute, but hear no reply.
In there.
Exy, where do you think that the Black Archer, who I hear is dashingly handsome, might have stopped last?
Percentage chance high, 80% this location.
I'm gonna just point to this location and say, Are you there?
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check. As you do so, I want to give Verity a point of inspiration to give to any cast member because they constantly do the summaries and they should be rewarded for that. So thank you, Verity. So whichever cast member you like gets a point of inspiration. That's how we're going to do inspos for people in chat now, by the way. Since we want to be able to use them, you just get to pick who gets it. What did you get for your Arcana?
19.
19. You were certain that it did not connect with another person.
Can I keep doing that?
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
around the area?
Are you doing outside of the trees, just aiming general northeasterly, or in the trees?
As much as I can, to the location where Exie has pointed. I just want to kind of like I'm scouting for metal through sand. I just want to kind of keep pointing and go, hello, 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 hello.
Winter, may I ask what you are doing?
All you can see is me pointing at things. I'm looking with my brain.
For
The archer.
are you attempting like a fishing net approach potentially?
Sure.
I believe you have a very functional net. I believe you call it a fireball.
Oh, yes, but that hurts. See, I'm using a net, not a hook.
But that would also reveal anyone here.
But we haven't decided whether or not we want it to be this or this. So I'm just going to use this, just for a little while.
Biologicals.
Winter, you said you keep aiming outside the trees, correct? Okay. The range on message is about 120 feet, and it's pretty empty as far as to the northeast. There's a large outstretch of nothing before maybe about a mile away. There's another small bit of trees, and even further to the north there is mountains, but that's a couple miles away. You know, based on what was described to Ordell on the map given, that if you were to go further east, a little more east than north, you would actually get back to that well that you all were originally at within the first episode or two. But because of where message is pointing, you're not going to find anybody. So unless they're invisible out here, you're not going to hit anybody with message. You keep trying. Luckily, maybe you'll hit somebody, but you don't hear any response.
Well, I guess they can fly.
And we head back to the well. Water is a valuable resource, and if this individual is camping out here, they would need to retreat and get water.
This is the most logical location for them to return to. It has an amazing view of the village, town.
I'm going to pull open my map because it didn't show things. Actually, I'm going to pull it open, but I'm going to give it to Winter.
You are now in charge of this.
But I'm going to look over her shoulder with it while she winces. Does there look like there's any other like geographical areas of water aside from like the watering hole that I marked on the map?
As far as what information that the man gave you, no. Eventually you reach the Eastern Sea, or you can go further west and reach a separate sea. It seems to mark with some sort of water. You're not sure if it's lake or salt water. The well is the only thing that he indicated here for you, as if it's the only source of water east from the town. Though again, he made sure not to put NOV on the map.
My approximation is whoever this is, she likely went up this mountain peak,
And I'm going to point like up on the mountain.
as we saw some running glacier water, and then they would have headed to the well area. So I'm assuming we should trace back our steps, find whoever this individual is.
Okay, sure. Ash, could you just help me with something for a second? And I very delicately lay the map in her hands, and then I grab my skirt and I start to like clean my hands as best as I can and make sure that there's no grime or anything on them. I haven't got any ink. There's no residue from the doodles or the scratchings that I've been doing. There's no blood on my hands. And then I grab out a piece. I'm going to tear a piece of cloth from my underskirt, and I'm going to like lay that on the ground and then very, very sheepishly take the map and roll it up in that piece of material
Roll me a sleight
and
of
tie
hand.
it off. Fucking hell.
I'm not a malicious DM, but I want a 1 to happen so bad for this.
Well, when she takes it, I do that kind of asshole thing where like I pretend I'm like, oh, but like I'm not moving my hands, I'm moving my body more so instead. So I kind of keep my hands stable, but my body's the one that goes, oh.
Not funny, Ash. And I roll a 16.
16, no problems. You're able to roll it up. It's the cleanest you've ever rolled anything up, actually, as you just make sure that there's no possible way you could mess up this map of the area as you roll it tightly and place it in your pouch. As Ashrin kind of says, before you just take the everything back, and now you are thoroughly in charge of the map as the two of you sit back atop the horse.
Okay, it's your day, big guy. Let's go.
As some time has passed since you've been in this conversation, talking with them, it's maybe the middle of the afternoon. If you're going to try and get up towards the mountains from there, there's markings on the map that he gave you, the kind of crude one that mark them as the Drakefall Mountains. There is a small bit of dead forest that seems to be nearby there that you could go up towards. It's going to actually take you a little bit longer than today to be able to get to those mountains. They're a few miles off, but they're large and loom pretty heavy from where you're at here. So you could get probably about halfway there and sleep somewhere in that forest before you'd get to the mountain. Is that the plan? Great. You have a map. It's going to be much harder to get lost at this point. Who's leading the party?
Not looking towards Ardell.
Ordell will with Exy like beside him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a survival at advantage. Also, Verity gives their inspo to Drew because Emma's had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
So did you say perception or survival? Or
Survival.
never mind, the same bonus. 16.
16. You're able to follow this map, no problem, and get yourself to the base of the forest. You'll probably get partway through. It is kind of a dense forest here before you'd have to stop for the night. You go for a few hours. Emma, are you withdrawn within the ring this entire time?
Yes.
Okay, just double checking. As see how I timed that so well with that video screen of Drew? We've been practicing this all week. As you all keep going across the pathway here, you can see markings that would indicate if you were to go maybe about an hour east of here, you might actually be able to reach back to that watering hole, that well that you were in before, but you go on to the north. You're planning on going to the mountains to find water that would trickle down from there. So after a few hours, night begins to fall. It's maybe about 10 o'clock or so at this point. You don't see or hear a single soul, though when you do enter the forest, you do see some birds that fly off at your presence, mostly ravens or scavenger birds that are flying between the dead trees. There are a few branches that hold some life on them. It seems that the further north you go, the less there is just direct decay here, and you can begin to see the base of the mountain would be not too many hours travel in the next morning. But there's a grove here. You could stop in bed for the night if you'd like, or you could try and push through and risk some exhaustion.
Not risking exhaustion.
Set up camp here. Get Emma out of the ring. I need the meat to finish curing it.
It's the main reason.
Emma. Bone Queen, Emma. Bone Queen, Emma.
Let me fast forward till we get to that part of the response video. Hold on. Oh shoot, that's going to be a while. Emma doesn't seem to respond to your pleas.
May I have the ring?
Sure, but be careful because I think that there's like a whole ceremony and things, so you probably shouldn't put it on. And then I pass it over.
Or, I mean, you can try putting it on and see if that does anything.
I am going to speak to you once, ring. Release Emma.
Go ahead and roll me an intimidation on the
know-
ring.
You know
my-
when you like hold? Oh no! When you hold.
That's a natural 20.
a-
Is the ring scared of me?
Oh no! Can I just say that I've actually on the inside I have cast silence inside the ring. In this time.
Oh, absolutely. As you've described the ring as being quite cold, it seems to be humid, though you're not sure if the ring is sweating through your intimidation or just kind of sweating from the humidity in the air and the coldness of the ring. You do see a drip of water escape the part of the ring that is not the emerald.
I'm not playing games, ring. Release Emma now.
Emma, you look up from your sunroof within your ring and see Ordell's giant nose and eyes, what would be inches but looks to be the entire skyline from within your ring and your villa, looking up at you. Though you have cast silence, Ordell,
Yo, can we give Rybo an inspo? Because that's the best.
Someone click
yeah.
that, please.
Inspo.
I'll take
New trailer.
it. New trailer.
When the DM snaps.
What the last Pringle sees while you're trying to get it out.
Why don't they
Yeah,
make
in-
these hand size?
Ryan, I agree.
I'll take it, sure. That's what you see, Emma.
There's just a inaudible sigh as silence goes down. And I hear the last part of what Ordell is yelling into the ring.
I will not play any games with you, ring.
Emma pops out and has the meat. She's kind of like leaned up against it. You
Ordell looks at the ring. Thank you. And I hand it back to Ashrin. Or no, it was Winter who gave it to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gave it to Winter.
Emma.
Winter,
After you.
Winter's just gonna jump in and give Winter a big hug and say, "Are you okay?"
I would say noticeably, Emma doesn't have her one normal like floating eye. They're just empty for the time being, but the sigils on the horns are fine and normal. She just looks down and she holds out her hand, and there's a small box of tea that she hands over to Winter. It's no good for me.
Cute. Can I roll insight on what the hell is going on with our bone queen?
Absolutely. At disadvantage because they don't have eyebrows or eyes to give anything away.
Because they don't have eyebrows. Oh, both of those rolled up against each other cocked. So I'm gonna roll both again. Cool. The ring was cool. That is gonna be 11.
Emma
Em-
looks like a skull on the mantelpiece. You can't really get much emotion from her at all.
Emma just pats Winter on the head, then walks over and goes to start making a fire.
Emma, this magic that is you, I wanted to help you. Have I done more damage than good?
You've sent me somewhere I haven't been in 900 years, and she's gonna start explaining what happened.
As Emma, you've dabbled for a long time in this long isolation within this ring and trying to find bits of your memories back. Mostly unsuccessful, but you do remember your time at the Ghoulcrest Manor prior to your entry into the ring, where you got your last name. It is very common for unwillings to take a last name based on location. For example, from the last game that we played, it would have been very acceptable to call Spade Oasis, because that's where he was from. Emma Ghoulcrest. Emma, you remember your time with the Ghoulcrests, their experimentation, their torture, for lack of better words, on you, trying to figure out how the old Coracrucians did it, how they brought so many undead back to life and gave them full sentience as a new person, as unwilling, rather than resurrection, rather than skeletons that are bound to a single person, though they know you were at one point in time. Necromancers that the Ghoulcrests were, they were completely separate from the original Coracrucians. As they experiment heavily on you, you can feel the light from your chest, amplified, dimmed, water splashed upon the flames, steam, tools going along your bones as you're strapped down into their tables and chairs. You haven't had to go back there in a long time, and the feeling of the eyes being burnt out again as radiant magic was applied to you in an effort to gather information from you. It fills your mind in a bad way, as that is what Emma saw when the fingers ignited the flames in her eyes.
Had I have not stayed inside that ring when you were speaking with that person, I would have killed them personally.
Have I read about the Ghoulcrests? Do I know anything about them?
Ooh.
About
You may, being that you study necromancy, go ahead and roll me a history. You have proficiency in that, correct?
I sure do.
Then yeah, you can roll on that.
That is going to be 24.
Where the old Coracrucians use their magics to bring the dead back to life, the Ghoulcrests use their plagues and magic to kill the willing and turn them into mindless ghouls and undead. Coracrucians largely had a code. They, for the most part, up until the original war, 100 years prior to Campaign 1, only brought people back with consent to be brought back upon their death. The Ghoulcrests took no such liberties. They are the necromancers of old. The stories that you hear of the evil, vile people in the world that bring the dead back to life and sick them upon the willing all stem from the Ghoulcrests. Their lake and their manor is a bastion of the dead. They are bad people.
We will not kill this archer. In fact, we will help this archer.
I'm sorry that that happened to you, Emma.
It's something that can't be changed, and for as far as I know, they are all long dead now.
I don't want to ask anything of you now because I know that you're in pain, but I don't want to be like them. Can you please help me to learn how to embrace the beauty that is you without causing the pain that you had to go through to others?
Emma's gonna crouch down and just place her hand on her cheek and say, "Child, listen. I have told you before, death is death. I don't think there's a single entity, group, person that can do what that family has done in the way that they have done it. I don't think you have anything to worry about that, and as much as I despise the living, the undead are treated unfairly, as he says, slaves, and we did not ask for this. I will try and help you all I know. Never end up like them.
Emma,
By this archer.
you can take your point of inspiration that you know you earned.
If we find this archer, we have been fighting these raiders. We have been killing these raiders. We have been doing the work of this archer without even meeting them. Why are we not to continue doing their work?
Did you manage to collect some of their blood?
No.
Well, I mean, maybe if we come across any more, that might be a nice gift.
Emma looks directly over to Asher.
There's no eyebrows, but there is a head tilt.
Do we have to go east now?
I just slowly turn to Winter, like, you too.
As during this conversation, Emma has been grabbing bits of broken down branches and some logs and lights a small flame to create a campfire here in the forest. It's visible, but the forest would obscure some from any wandering eyes that may be passing in the road. But a fire is nice, as Ordell does plan to cook and smoke the rest of the meats as you all sit around this campfire. What is?
Actually,
Oh, go ahead.
Ordell, like while everyone's talking and sees the tension like kind of lift, Ordell's gonna go to XC and just kind of say like almost like walking parallel. So if XC was facing like this way, Ordell walks past and just turns to him.
For the rest of my day, I would like to be alone. I'm going to go smoke the meat.
And Ordell's gonna go set a campfire, like not super far, just kind of just at a view, but still kind of in earshot. And Ordell's just gonna smoke the meat and think.
Okay. Ordell, you take a small log with flame on the end of it, using that as a starter to go create your own campfire. And as you're walking, pulling off whole branches from trees that are dead, so easy to remove, as you create a large campfire on the other side. Ashrin, Emma, Winter, and XC sit around the original campfire. What is everybody doing for the night before possibly bedding down to rest?
I'm gonna make the tea. Is there a way for you, and I'm guessing that Ryan's gonna say no to this, but is there a way for you to clean the blood so that we can get water out of it? Emma? I've seen you use the spell before. I've read about it in books, and it seems to clean and to make things taste differently and to make things slightly more palatable. We're eating the meat anyway.
Drew furiously reading prestidigitation.
You've heard of water into wine. Well, let me tell you my next business pitch.
Tasty, tasty blood tea.
Look, people eat blood sausage all the time. It just depends if you want it to taste good or not.
Well, it can taste. however you want it to taste, right?
Yeah. And I can chill it and I can warm it.
Well,
Ashwin, you may
Oh,
be
wait,
interested
I
in this
can't-
process very specifically.
shall we make some tea?
Can I give the DM a GFY or no? Okay.
I could change its color. Although, I mean, it'd be kind of cool.
Just a moment. And Emma's gonna back into the ring. A good bit of time Emma actually was spent in there with the silent spellcast. She was actually like putting books back on shelves and reorganizing after immediately going in there and just like ripping everything apart. But she's gonna come back out with a skull with the top missing. Gonna do it. You need to do it right. And hands the skull with the top missing over to Winner.
A teapot. It is the most glorious that I have ever seen, Your Majesty. I'm going to start to pour some of the blood into the skull, and then mix in some of the tea leaves that she brought, and start to prepare some tea.
It is a skull. Blood is thick. It very much coats the inside of the cranium as it pours in. As it does so, you pour tea leaves on top. Blood, much like maple syrup, is thicker than water. As you put the tea leaves on, they simply float to the top. Are you trying to heat this blood up in the skull near the flame, or with prestidigitation, warm this to a soothing blood tea?
It'd be prestidigitation.
Ashram.
To warm it.
I need you to roll me a history check.
Nothing can possibly go wrong from this. Heating up blood,
Tea
putting
leaves
tea
and
leaves in it,
blood.
putting it in a skull and dancing around a fire. Yeah, this isn't some cult shit.
We're the good guys. We're the good guys.
If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right.
I don't think any of us have done a good guys dance this campaign, right?
Fair,
Just saying.
17.
17. You recall a very similar ritual from your people. Crimson Elves often drink of the blood of their sacrifices. Skulls, tea leaves, warm blood is a precursor to a very horrific ritual of summoning. As long as they don't do the other steps, probably fine.
As they're doing all this and they're like, hee 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 hee, and they're just like putting it together and like trying to make it taste good, make it warm, whatever. I'm like looking past it, but also doing that thing where you stare past that thing you're looking at and kind of just like lose focus, and I start kind of a little bit, get lost in my own memories.
You remember walking away from a campfire where similar kin were doing a ritual like this. You never saw the end of it. However, you saw the great giant 8 legs from behind the hill at which this ritual was completed, and heard it scuttle away.
Rise, Cthulhu. Rise.
What do you want? 5 more minutes.
How much would this have affected me, this memory?
This is one of your earliest memories of wanting to leave the Crimson Elves and the Conclave.
You made friends with the wrong girl.
Yeah, I'm at this point right now. I'm just gonna stare past it and
Okay.
then lose myself for a little bit.
Okay. As Winter, with this, what do you flavor the blood tea with? The warm blood tea in the skull, Emma? We thinking chamomile?
No, jasmine actually.
Jasmine, of course. Why wouldn't it be
and a little
jasmine?
bit of saffron.
Of course. As Winter, you're going to take your first sip of blood tea. Do you partake?
Yeah.
Okay. Need you to roll a con save.
8 legs spring from Winter.
12.
It tastes of iron as it coats the inside of your mouth. The first sip, though largely masked by jasmine, the first sip is warm to your lips, and as you pull away, your once black lipstick is replaced by a thick crimson color before you take another breath in and drink the rest out of the skull. It's odd. You're cold, and it feels very much the same as when you drink a hot tea on a cold day. You can feel it travel down your throat, but because it's this thick liquid, it travels slowly, and you can feel every inch that it goes down before it drips into your stomach.
Sorry, that's Brie.
Breathe over.
Winter's like,
As you pull the skull away, you take one of your cloths and dab your lips and see the blood on it before pocketing it away. It was quite tasty. It's very warm.
I go to
Meanwhile-
bed now.
XC, Ordell has asked to be left alone at the other camp, but you currently sit here with the other three watching this transpire. What are you doing?
I'm going to pull out my little trinket kit and attempt to make some more bullets, but then realize that I am out of my scrap metal. And so, without taking too long to think about it, I peel off a piece of my right leg, and it sort of becomes apparent on why there's so little armor or plating left on me as I use that piece that I've now taken to start making more bullets.
XC, go ahead and roll me a d4.
Where are my d4s? There we go.
Who needs them?
That's a 1.
A 1. Your maximum HP is reduced by 1 until you get something to replace that metal on your leg. But with that, you are able to make 4 more bullets. Or 1 specialty bullet. As in the tracer round that you shot before.
Yep.
As XC sits near the fire, Ashrin stares directly through the skull before XC comes over, using some of the heat before igniting their own kind of butane compartment within their other arm and creating a small little forge with the bowl. As was described before, you begin to take and melt down a piece of you and create 4 more bullets, I'm guessing?
1 tracer.
1 tracer round. As it glows hot in XC's hand. Emma, you would not want to touch that at all, even with your bony fingers, but XC is able to hold it before placing it in a reserve chamber and locking it back up. During this time of quiet rest where nothing bad is happening and no rituals are being performed, is there anything else that the group would like to be doing before settling down for rest for the night?
Towards the end of the night. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, just as Winter is enjoying her tea, I am just watching her face to see how much she's enjoying it. And then if she's enjoying it more than I expected her to, it's like that prompt. Ashrin will remember that.
Roll an insight for me real quick, Ashrin.
That's gonna be a 6.
6. Winter seems to be drinking this more out of necessity than abject, horrific desire, which is what you're specifically worried about. But Winter is a private person. She keeps her emotions locked in unless she wants to show them.
I think
Okay.
that Winter at least looks happy to be sitting with Emma, and from a 6, that's probably
Yeah, so she's just gonna sit there and like look at Emma, drink it, mentally take note, and she won't let anything on yet. She's just kind of just met majority of the people here, and she won't say much for now.
Anybody else need to do anything before bedding down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emma's gonna look over to Winter and say, "I'll be right back." And she gets up and she walks past Ashrin, and something falls off Emma's person, but Emma doesn't notice, and she keeps walking over towards Ordell.
I
You okay,
step
right?
up and I step up in between Emma and the location of where they're heading.
Ashrin, you hear something drop nearby as Rybonator needs to put the BRB screen back because he forgot to save the picture in which Emma is about to reference. So BRB, so that you don't see things. Let me do this. Continue with the voices, though.
But yeah, as Emma's gonna start making her way towards Ordell and see Exie moving in front.
Or Ordell has required to be left alone.
Ordell!
Ordell, as you're smoking the meat, and everybody can see once again. Fantastic. Whew. Don't know what happened there. Technical difficulties. Ordell, your silence as you put kind of surroundings around the meat to focus the smoke on them. You know you're going to be able to finish up with smoking this meat tonight, which is reassuring, but you're just kind of enjoying the silence as the crackling of the fire is suddenly interrupted by the sound of Emma yelling for you.
Ordell kind of pauses and then like pushes up with his it pushes up on his knees and stands and then kind of steps over to see, and seeing Exie block, kind of pauses and just
Exie, let Emma pass.
Exie takes a sidestep.
Emma turns to Exie, and the one green eye just flickers in and becomes a thing again, and then walks over towards Ordell.
Ordell's gonna re-sit down at the fire, just like, he's still doing his thing, but now letting Emma sit over because he doesn't really know. Yeah.
As Emma, you approach Ashrin, you take a look down at what Emma dropped, and it seems to be a small parchment. As you flip it over, it seems to be a drawing or a photograph of something, which you will see now, which I had prepared the whole time. You could see an unfamiliar face. You're not sure who or what this is, with a staff like a druid's and horns peeled back. Don't know what it is, but there's this photograph that Emma seems to have dropped.
Oh, are the crescent moons, the neon green ones, still on Emma's forehead?
Yeah, those are always there, apart from, when they just weren't.
So I think Ashton may have noticed maybe the similarities of the foreheads. Does she get to pick it up and study it?
Yeah, it's in your hands.
I'm gonna see that the two moons they match placement and rotation, and then I'm gonna be nosy and show it to Winter. Winter, think Emma has a crush.
Emma has a crush? And I look at the photograph.
Jackie, take it inspo.
It's so for sure.
the old razzle dazzle.
Winter, you see the tiefling drawn out before you.
Can I investigate the photo?
Absolutely.
Oh no.
Emma has a crush.
Seven.
Whoa, what a looker. Didn't know Emma was into fleshed beings.
Emma,
What a centerfold.
do you think that we can try and like find this person?
Of course. Well,
So, I mean, gorgeous, right?
what if they're
I have been
800?
programmed to find multiple people.
XC overhears with
XC.
this passive perception, hearing the two gossiping over the picture. XC kind of looks over now over your shoulders that were kind of huddled there.
What a babe. Can we find? I mean, she's probably not out here, right?
Well,
What if that's like some kind of weird destiny and that they're also dead, and then we can make this like beautiful like reconciliation? There could be an
800 years.
undead wedding.
Oh my god.
Can you define babe?
This picture.
Pretty much.
Mhm.
Like biologicals find attractive, look good.
Shiny.
Sure, yeah.
I used to be a babe.
I bet you did, Exy. I bet you did.
As Emma sits down on the log next to Ordell.
Emma's going to use her magic and form what the inside of the ring looks like. It's this. I'll eventually have artwork of this, but it's this cylinder, wall to wall, just books. There's bookshelves. There's little knickknacks here and there. There's some vases on the side. There's pillows on the floor, and then up on top is the very clearly faceted emerald, and just makes it in there, just kind of to break some tension, and says, "You didn't know what you were doing, and I'm not mad at you."
I was a little reckless. I apologize for causing you pain.
I'm sorry that I was not out there when the man on the horse was out there as well. But as I said, I would have killed him.
Your words before prevented me from doing so. So whether you were in or out of the ring, you were still having an impact.
This world isn't fair for our kind. It never will be, and never has.
I know. It likely never will be. But we have people like them.
And he kind of looks over his shoulder.
We
As
can
Winter,
make their time
Ashrin are
easier.
giggling, looking at something as XC stands looking over their shoulders.
we can make their lives easier. Doesn't make it any less difficult, I suppose.
I would like to make life easier for our kind as well. Now being out of this ring, I have been stuck and unable to do anything. I used to, while I was stuck in that junkyard of yours, I would hear you talk a lot. It was always to yourself.
I had no one else to speak to. It can damage one if you don't have at least one voice echoing out. Might as well have made it my own.
I would like to make a change for our kind, and I would like us to be the harbingers of that. I have no respect for the living, present company excluded, as Emma looks back. I have all the respect for the undead. So whatever we can do to help them, because they were made that way. They weren't originally evil. They weren't whatever it is. They were made that way, and it's not right for them to be treated as such.
I agree.
Ordell's gonna offer like fully now. Ordell over the conversation was like kind of facing the fire, but has slowly turned more and more. But Ordell's gonna offer his hand out.
Gotcha.
As the two
I
of you
will do
touch,
everything in my power to help you.
cold, no blood running between. It feels right. Feels like a long lost cousin that you haven't spoken to in a while. Just some comfort in the holding of hands. As Ordell and Emma sit for a moment, before Ordell goes back to tending the fire, Emma sits on the log, joined a little longer. Ashrin, Winter, and XC explain further to the Warforged what hot is, that it's more than just a temperature, etc. as they go through. The night goes on for a while. These conversations take a long time, as you can see the outline of the moon between the clouds every now and again, as it is somewhere midnight, 1 a.m. at this point. You start to feel very tired, Winter. Ashrin, you feel a bit tired, but everyone feels weary and achy and ready to relax for the night, though it may not be sleep. Is there anything else anybody wants to be doing?
As I start to get ready for sleep, I'm gonna ask Ash if it's okay. Can I put this in the journal? Is that okay?
I have to be completely honest, even though Emma can get under my skin sometimes, I think it might be a little bit rude to not give it back.
I guess so. How about, can I give it back to her in the morning?
Yeah, yes, only if you pretend that you've just found it in the morning.
I can do that.
Oh, whoa, look what I just found.
Mm-hmm. I can do that. And I want to slip it into the journal, and I want to start writing fan fiction about in the journal about Emma and her crush. Keep like looking back so that I can get every detail right about the flesh and the bone queen.
As he caressed her bones, she did the same, question mark.
When you have to learn to love yourself.
Us Glove ain't got shit on us.
With that,
I will also welcome anyone who wants to write fan fiction for the flesh and the bone queen.
And of
Yes.
course, legally, this is not endorsed by any of us. When Emma returns, because I'm assuming Emma sleeps in the in her ring, Ordell's gonna do something, but that's it.
Emma, you walk
Unless
back.
Emma stays.
I mean, Emma would probably stay for a while, just like poking the fire, and then would return back. But Emma wouldn't be. Emma doesn't like staying. It's so hard to put. Like, she likes the ring, but she also doesn't like the ring if she doesn't have to be in there. So she would probably just stay out of the ring, not watching other people sleep, but being around while other people are sleeping. Both eyes appear.
Sleep, as you mentioned in the first two episodes. Okay. Emma mostly just wanders around rather than returning to the ring. So Ordell, I don't know if you're wanting to do something or not.
Yeah. Ordell's gonna, like, while smoking the meat, he's gonna sit and kind of stare in the fire for a bit and just kind of talk, I guess.
Every time I have died, I have seen fire. What does it mean?
And he's just gonna think to himself. And then eventually, after a while, Ordell's gonna use his last rage because he saw the effect of Emma on the fire, and he's gonna stick his hand in the flame while glowing radiantly to see if anything happens. And if nothing happens, he's just gonna do his like Sentinel's Rest kind of thing. But Ordell's curious.
You place your hand in the flame, and it's 2-3 seconds before the heat just becomes too much and you have to pull your hand away. You looked hoping for some answer or some sign. You look determined as if to do it again. Go ahead and roll me a percentile check.
I don't. Okay, so I got. Yeah, it's not 900's another thing, so it would be 90. Yeah, 90.
Okay.
I was like
As-
looking at him and I was like trying to read it. My brain was computing the numbers and I was like, what does 10 mean when you roll? It's just 0, right?
As you look to the flame, you're about to put your hand back in before you decide better of it. You turn and look at the campfire with the other 4. Ashrin and Winter lied down for the night, XC in kind of sentry mode, head swirled and on a swivel. Emma helping out, moving things around the campfire, putting some new logs on the fire. You step up for a moment as if to join them, and you look back towards your fire, and you see 2 eyes staring back at you, made of flame. Darkness in the pupils of the eyes as it looks up at you and seems to blink in the fire.
Hello?
It blinks.
What else gonna fully turn now?
Seemingly recognizing your speech.
Do you know me?
The eyes seem to fall into the embers as if a log crashed in, as embers fly out and ash flies towards you, pelting your skin. You feel heat as if standing right in front of a forge as they touch and singe your skin, though it doesn't hurt you. It almost feels like a warm hug. Before the eyes are gone.
Ordell is gonna slowly walk up and basically like take his hands and like endure the pain of like fresh heat, but he's gonna like spread out the ashes. And Ordell's gonna take his full century's rest, basically like kneeling in the ashes.
As Ordell kneels down, it kind of hurts your knees a little bit, but it's worth it. The ash itself kind of heals itself as you sit down next to the fire, wanting to be as close as you can in case you miss something. You spend most of your sentryed watch just aimed at the fire. I know Alex just disappeared, but as everybody is resting, unless Emma has another thing.
I just got back.
Good.
Yeah, I was gonna. Emma's probably gonna try and contact her deity again. She's in essence gonna try it once every night.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a
until
percentile.
She gets an answer. Okay. I'm gonna take this down. That's a 0 and 2 zeros. I got 100.
As Emma, experiencing what you experienced today, you put all of your thoughts and energy into your prayer. What do you ask of your deity?
A long day. A lot of old memories. You know, we sent a lot of souls your way today. It'd be nice to hear from you at least. Where are you?
As you look up in the sky, the clouds seem to part for but a moment. As you look up into the great void and you can finally see stars. This is the first time seeing stars in this area in a long time, as the clouds largely obscure them. You then see, knowing that you're seeing through these clouds, the stars begin to blot out. And almost words begin to form in the remaining stars. It's not words that you would know. It's not any sort of... It's not common, it's not draconic, it's not celestial, it's not anything. But from the formation of stars, it almost feels a calling, as if to say everywhere around you. As you see the darkness that covers the stars seems to fall downward from the sky like a blanket and coat the flame of the campfire nearby, enveloping you in a pure darkness.
It's good to know you're still here at least.
The darkness vanishes and fades away, resuming the fire nearby as the crackling enters your ears.
I'll keep watch for the night.
Okay. Ashrin, Winter. Oh, go ahead.
I'll keep second watch
Winter,
or a watch.
sleeping the whole time. Perfect.
Fall
Let's see.
asleep in my book writing. Go.
Ashrin. Winter, so close to inspo, so close to GFY. I'm not sure, so I'll leave it as neither. As you fall asleep, finally, Emma, you're keeping first watch, Ashrin second, and XC just kind of constant in patrol mode, essentially. Ashrin, Emma, XC, roll me a perception. Ordell, your watch is largely focused on the embers of the flame nearby.
Mm-hmm. And smoking my meat.
Perception. Music plus 4. It's a 22.
22.
12.
24.
24. As Emma, eventually, though you want to keep watch, you crack your bones as you tilt your head. Ashrin awakes from her sleep, no longer feeling that she needs to conceal being asleep to you all as she volunteers to take watch. She sits up. You have been focused. It's kind of a strain, even on, though you have magical eyes, it's still a strain to focus for so long. It'd be nice to just lay your head up and think about nothing. You look and see XC's head kind of on a constant whirl as Ashrin stands up and looks around and just kind of says, allows you to go down for the night. As Ashrin, you get up and walk around, observing and trying to take a look at the nearby surroundings. Wanted to make sure that you all can't be ambushed by any means. XC, you see Ashrin kind of walk off and you stand up and ask, do you need accompaniment? As Ashrin kind of looks at you and rolls eyes like, I'm fine. Before XC, you sit back down and you focus and notice that Ordell is looking directly at the fire and has been for a while, and you're a little concerned. He's not watching his own surroundings, and so you kind of focus there for a bit. As Ashrin, you take a quick walk to the north just to make sure that no one around could find you or ambush you from where you're at. As you look around, you begin to see a hill within these trees nearby, where there's dead trees all around you that seems to have been long dead. There's black roses nearby that hill. You can see it from the starlight and the red in the clouds that kind of gives a bit of an outline. They're not regular roses, and your attention is focused on that for but a moment before you feel the hand cover your mouth and your nose and pull you to the ground. You drop without so much as a sound. I need you to roll me a strength saving throw.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome, amazing, wonderful, perfect. Okay, 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Sounds good. As you pull your arms, there's some sort of gloved hand over your mouth. The other one grabs your other arm and holds you back, but briefly the hand lets go of your mouth and reaches into your pocket and grabs something out. And in this opportunity, you take your chance to break free from this figure and jump back as you see a platinum coin in its hand, as you now see a man clad in black, pauldrons that seem to loop and connect into two long strands of a cape that lead down, a mask pulled up underneath his nose, and a hood that obscures most of his face. A bow on his back with arrows and a quiver. He takes the platinum piece and throws it yards away from your location. He looks at you, hand on the knife, before he holds his hand up.
And my hand was about to go to my sword or something, but as soon as he does that, I read and I stay silent.
He puts an arrow on his bow. He knocks it, and he turns back towards your camp and begins walking before his eyes look at you again as he puts one hand up to his mouth.
I follow him as he goes around the camp.
He walks stealthily, not making a sound out here. There are vines and leaves all around. Every time you take a step, you can hear the crunch beneath your feet, but you don't hear so much as a whisper underneath his boots. You look down. He's wearing what are akin to, the best description I can give is almost like a ninja tabby. They're boots, they're leather, but they have one spot for the toe and then the other rest of the smaller toes as he walks through, sticking mostly to where the trees are to avoid any fallen and dead leaves. Before you can see the flames of your camp nearby, and he sits up next to one of the trees. XC, you've returned your gaze back around looking for Ashrin, and you do see her seemingly crouched walking towards your camp. Ashrin,
At this moment,
go ahead.
Yeah, XC's going to, I guess, come to life a little bit, and open up the trench coat and pick up this little object. It's hard to see unless you're up close, and starts to meticulously run its finger up and down from one end to the other of whatever this object it is holding, and loses focus of the world around it.
As XC looks down, Ashrin, you see the figure nod as he pulls the arrow back on the bow and seems to aim at XC.
I immediately just start going like, just trying to say no, all of the motions I can without actually saying it.
You see his eyes narrow before he turns back, losing attention and focus on you as he lets an arrow fly. It flies over XC. XC, you hear the whip of the feathers as the arrow travels right over your head, and you hear the thud as the arrow lands, not on wood, but on flesh behind you. And you see, materializing, another elf in leathers just like you saw before as he shot. Doesn't seem to have been making any sort of move to attack you, but he was some 20, 30 feet away, shot by the arrow. As the person materializes, a sudden blue visage of this elf appears, standing next to it. The archer knocks another arrow and fires at the blue, transparent visage before it disappears. And the light from the visage no longer illuminates the forest. The elf was writhing in pain and suddenly stops. The archer nods to you, Ashrin, before attempting to leave.
I grab his arm, not in just a tension grabbing way.
If you grab his arm, he's going to walk past. If you grab his arm, you are going to be met with a swift punch to the shoulder.
Fine. No, fine. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. You know what? I just woke up. I'm not really thinking out of the way. Reactionary, you know.
Go ahead and roll me roll an athletics check for me.
Okay. 14.
As he pushes on your shoulder, he knocks you to the ground, but he's not very strong so much as he is quick. You are able to pull him with you as you both find yourselves wrestling for control on the ground. Exy, you now look back to Ashrin and see her writhing on the floor. Currently...
Can I override that?
Oh, absolutely.
My thought process is kind of like a desert at the moment, completely devoid of anything, and I go back to playing with this object in my hand.
Perfect. You are solitary-minded. Ashrin, as you and this archer wrestle for control, you can hear grunts as he seems to be going for some sort of dagger on his side.
I'm not gonna go for any weapons, but I'm just gonna whisper in the quietest voice that I can. Let's team up. We could help each other out.
He looks around. He doesn't take his mask off, but he kind of pulls back in the leaves and looks at you and says, "You don't need to whisper. There's nothing here anymore. Leave the coin in the dirt, or they will find you."
Sure you've seen, but we've gotten rid of many of them already. You know whose side we're on.
He looks kind of back at the camp and back at you. There's no side to me. I just want them dead.
Fine. You're the most lethal thing out here. It'd be stupid to cross you.
I'm far from the most lethal thing out here. I'm just the hardest to find.
One of the most lethal.
You don't know what you're dealing with here with these raiders.
What? Thugs?
The worst kind. Slavers, not just of the dead.
So, teach us how to survive like you.
There's not survival like me. I'm not here to survive. I'm here to make sure that they do not.
We all became just like you. We'd be unstoppable.
I'm not any... You understand, I'm not... What do you want? What's your goal? Why are you here in the Blasted Lands?
Willingly. First of all. Although one friend does want to do research, but that's besides the point.
Nobody
Now
comes
we're
here
here to-
willingly. Everyone is banished here.
So what are we doing? We're surviving.
Then just get
well,
far away from these raiders. And you will.
Are they not everywhere?
They are. These ones won't kill you like those in the north. That's a better fate.
So, teach us. You know how many we could take down if there was more of you.
Roll a persuasion.
Ooh, yeah. 2 or to not use my dicey encounters dice.
Ooh. Drew
Do
will
it.
decide the fates.
Do it.
Okay. Okay. Persuasion? Ooh, 15.
What do you want me to help you with? To survive out here? That's it? Just to live?
To be as deadly as you would be amazing.
You can tell he stops, seeing that you're not getting the message on being deadly as he's... Fine. But I cannot leave here until my mission is done. If you help me, I will help you.
Yes. 100%.
There are many people I want dead in NOV, but I will settle for one for now.
Who?
Tadage, their leader.
Likewise, the guy's an asshole.
They have a small army of raiders. People would choose to fight with them rather than die. I've made a point to hide their water and trying to starve them out. But they're resourceful and they have wizards on their side. I cannot get in. I have been before, but their dogs know my scent.
And you're not letting them out either, are you?
No, I'm not. If you could get in there and bring Tadage to me, I will help you. I will guide you in these lands. If you could do something else for me, you hate these raiders, correct?
Yes.
These are not the only ones you will find in the Banished Lands. There are many. I would see them all dead. If you would make sure that my hand is not stayed, then I will help you.
Sorry, Jackie, for reference, what do you mean stayed? Like,
As in,
the
you're not
Black
telling him, like, whoa, don't kill them. If he wants to kill somebody, he wants to kill somebody.
Yeah, back in the scene. Sure, of course. Of course. Tadage did say that he would let us in once we have your head on a spike, though. Wait, back to Jackie. It was head and bow and arrow that Tadage wanted as
Correct.
proof, right? He said he wanted your head and your bow and arrow.
He will not take her bow. I will show you how to get into NOV unseen.
Oh.
But if you walk in those front doors, even with my head, they will kill you or worse.
Oh.
You've killed one of theirs. You will never be their ally.
Okay. Thank you.
He reaches into his pouch and pulls out a small scrap of paper. Says, "There's an entrance in the back, a hole in the fence I dug and covered with leaves. If you climb up through the hole, you will be able to get near Tadage's house. It is by the barracks. There are weapons, ammunition. I've seen your Warforged. You could find something of use there. There's food. Stock up on it. For if we are to leave NOV and head elsewhere, it will be a while before you find others. So plan you a route that leads you through the barracks, though that is the most dangerous route."
Okay.
He makes a small...
Where?
Go ahead.
And where would I meet you?
Once you get Tadage, I truly do not care alive or dead, though I would like the pleasure of killing him myself to make sure that he won't come back. Bring Tadage to me. I will help you. Tadage is an abomination of a furbog. Half metal in the face, He's the only one there. He is cruel, and his malice knows no bounds.
Does he have any weaknesses?
Do not hit him in the head. You'll just make him mad.
Okay. Any family we can kidnap instead?
He will light his own children on fire to watch you burn.
Okay. So he does have children.
Many, though no spouse or anyone who would like to claim that they are his.
Understood? Right.
You're going to go
That
through this
should-
hole. There are a few buildings that you can cross. Do not cross behind them. People will see you cross through the buildings. They do not watch
Okay.
inside the buildings. They watch outside them and near the fence. Go through the buildings.
Oh. Through. Okay.
He draws a small map. Go ahead and roll me a general intelligence check.
Ah. Intelligence. Oh, that's an 11.
It's enough. You recognize the general shape from the brief moment that Winter showed you the map from that survival's journal, or survivor's journal. It is a similar shape to where there may have been some loot marked somewhere as he draws the shape of the town in a very much pie with a slice cut out of its shape. He marks a back entrance on the side that seems to mark through a few houses towards one of the larger ones. When you get in there, if you make noise inside Tattage's house, no one will come. That is common noise. People die there often.
Ooh.
It's when you leave there that you'll be noticed.
Okay. I'm sorry, where did you say to meet you again?
Leave back through the hole, and I will follow and find you. I will be watching. I just cannot make it inside the fence.
Because of your smell.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Their wargs are dead, but their noses work.
Understood. Consider us in.
As you kind of nod as if to turn back and go to your group, he kind of pulls you by the like scruff of your shirt back to him to get like inches from your face. So he goes, if I see you caught, I can put an arrow in you if you'd rather it be that way.
Please.
You see, go ahead and roll me an insight. What was it?
16.
16. As you say, please, as if you would not want to be caught alive by them, you see a glimpse of respect in his eyes, kind of letting the guard down a little bit as he nods his head and just kind of lets go and lets you go back to the camp.
For the fanfiction purposes, what color are his eyes?
Dark brown. Fanfiction purposes. Everyone in chat says, thank you, Ashrin.
Dark brown.
As you go to walk back to the camp, waiting for him to join and explain the rest to the group, you turn back. He is gone.
I think I would just sit there and like, now my cool is also lifted and my giddy self comes back and I'm just like, oh my God, can't wait for everyone to wake up. Can't wait to tell them like what happened. And I'm going to try to remember everything he told me. And then when they wake up, I can't wait to relay everything that said.
Do you wake anybody up, or do you simply wait for everyone to wake up?
You know what? I probably might want to tell somebody in case I die. I don't want to be like, you know, at least multiple people should know this. I would probably. Ooh, well, or is Ordell still up smoking the meats?
He is.
Cordell doesn't sleep. He just stares like eerily.
I was gonna
So-
say you've got 3 people in the group that don't sleep.
He's largely just
Ordell's
been
sitting there
tending
like
the
this.
fire.
uh, I'm going to, and then XE is kind of still stuck in his zone, their zone, right?
I guess so. I sent a message to Ryan,
Oop.
but I think he missed it.
Sorry, yes,
Oh,
I've
okay.
definitely,
Definitely
I've
still.
been directly eye
I'm
to eye.
definitely-
Still the
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'll let you know, Jackie, you'd probably see Emma just like laying down, like kicking her foot every now and again. Bored.
Like from
of
oh, because I
waiting.
can't tell if you're sleeping or not because you don't have eyelids. So really, everyone would know about it except Winter then.
So,
Mm.
XC, we could have,
We don't have the retcon. It's fine.
but there would have been a lot of roles and stuff involved because currently you just saw Ashrin at the time. You saw
Yeah.
the body, but yeah. So we'll continue. You were looking at the thing. Yeah. So Ashrin, Emma is there, just kind of staring up in the sky. She heard you say you were going to the north just to check around. XC seems to be looking at something in their hands as Ordell is tending to the fire and staring directly at it and the embers and the coals as Winter snores heavily next to the last
do
embers
that.
of your fire.
All right.
What
I'm
did you
going
say?
to
she's just dreaming.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably, now that the people I just met are the only ones awake, I'm gonna try to be cool again and then walk back kind of cool to the camp. But then
I-
have a little hop in my step.
I imagine Ashrin puts her back to a tree and does the before turning very calm and collected outside of the tree and returns to the group.
For this
100%.
episode of Red Wagon Inn, Tom Holland will be playing Ashrin.
Honor. And yeah, so I try to gather everyone. You guys.
Huh?
The Black Archer. He
Mhm.
wrestled me. I mean, he talked to me. What?
Excuse me, what?
What?
Emma chokes on nothing because she doesn't have a throat to choke on.
The Black
I
Archer
know.
tried to wrestle you.
He did. And I won.
Were you dreaming?
No.
Are
No.
you
I thought we were
sure?
going to talk to the archer. You already killed them. You won the wrestling. Well done. Where's his head?
No. It's all wrong. We're all wrong. Everything. Forget that. Forget that mission. We have a new mission. Get Tadich.
The one who owns
What-
the town?
Yes.
Hey, Rybo, would we have seen this dead elf just in the middle of camp by now?
You're currently talking
Oh,
to
that's
Ashrin, who
true.
is away from it. The elf was on the outskirts, maybe about 20, 30 feet outside of the camp, and
Okay.
taken down silently. But if Ashrin points it out, then definitely.
So you
You know
wrestled
what?
the Black Archer and decided you wanted to take the head of the bandit camp? You are a bloodthirsty individual, Ashrin. I respect that.
Well, okay. She probably would have been way too excited to remember the body at first, so she's gonna try to show her back, like, "I got dirt. We wrestled. Wait. Body. And I'm gonna point the elf that got shot by the archer.
As
You've killed
Ashrin
the Black
points
Archer.
out, there is an elf with no arrow in its chest on the ground.
Oh.
I'm
Okay, I
gonna
swear.
pick up the elf and just be like,
This individual is not wearing black. This is not the Black Archer.
And see the chest. How did they die?
Can I inspect that with my medicine?
Emma, go for it. Roll a medicine check.
All right. That's a 17 plus 7.
There is definitely a
numbers.
hole right above its heart. Not quite a direct hit. So you're not certain how this thing died without at least putting up some sort of a fight.
It is dead,
Shot by an arrow, obviously.
obviously.
Is wrestling a colloquial term for arrows then? Is that what happened here?
A what?
You're saying you wrestled someone, they died, now you want to go kill Tadich. The story has many holes in it, but I'm fascinated to see how it concludes.
I'm gonna get recomposed, and then I'm going to tell about how I was doing the parole, and then I was about to get choked out, and then it was actually the archer with the coin, and the coin's over there, and everything. And then the wrestling, not gonna forget the wrestling, and how his eyes are dark brown, not gonna forget that. And then, but then back to the task at hand.
All the things you point out. I know it's on purpose, but it's so good.
And then all the thing of the map, hole in the back, house near the barracks, go through the house, not behind. Yelling coming from Tadge's house is completely normal. He's a fearbolg, half metal face, so don't hit him on his head. Cross through the buildings, I said it already. And then lead back to the hole, and he'll be watching the whole time.
You said he had a half metal face?
Tadge has a half metal face.
Oh, I bet he doesn't like druids.
He what?
Nothing. Just a thought.
Half metal Firbolg.
And Tadge would burn his own kids to watch us burn.
He sounds sick.
So this individual, as Ordell's like one hand like holding this limp corpse.
This was someone following us.
You recognize the attire to be just like the raiders from before.
Oh, and then also how the raiders here are more dangerous than the ones up north. And that Black Archer wants all of these ones dead at the most. Tadge.
Isn't that what we were already doing? Haven't we already murdered like 15 of them?
So I told him that.
I
And I
mean,
think that helped the
And
case.
said,
That was circumstance, the reason we killed those other individuals. I don't think any of us are vigilantes out to kill.
after
He
what they've
said-
said to us, I wouldn't mind murdering all of them.
And
I mean,
that
I'm not
helped,
opposed either.
helped our case with him murdering all those raiders. And he said once we help him, he'll help us.
I don't know if I would even classify it as murder, really. It'd be mercy killing.
Oh,
So
and I
the-
also told the archer that if I get taken alive by Tadge to put one in my head right away.
Well, at least we know someone who can bring you back if you want.
Well, he said Tadge, even getting murdered by Tadge is not the worst thing that he can do to you, so I'd rather not be kept a slave, either in his bedroom or on the streets.
This would be telling of all the undead warg and the horses.
Yes.
It must be his making.
Do we get to go kill a necromancer then?
I looked to Winter really quickly.
Not that one. That one's with us.
Winter snores.
Well, this
Did-
may be to Winter's benefit. If he is a traditional necromancer, he may have scrolls and books.
Oh,
She has been collecting them. If she has things to learn, she will learn.
but he did say that Tadge has an army. And
And
wizards.
we have.
GFY before it even comes out. You know
Yep,
you get it.
We have an Ardell.
Ordell later.
Puny Firbolg.
Are we like a cross-promotional Avengers group here?
Please.
Yeah, basically.
We've been talking in the chat about which Marvel or which actors would play y'all's characters in the Marvel universe. Ordell is currently Vin Diesel.
I am
Did,
Groot.
did Verity say ScarJo would play all of us?
I could definitely see Ashwin being ScarJo.
Or was it? Oh God. Oh,
Although,
yeah.
actually, if we're looking at actual MCU actors, I would totally go with Gamora for Ashwin,
Ooh,
just as like
yes.
general
Sorry.
sword fighting. But anyway, back to sorry.
Emily Olsen would play
It was-
Winter anyway.
It was
Okay.
words mythologic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Words. Sorry, I said it. I'm ready.
So, the plan is to crawl under this fence, this hole in the bottom of a fence, go through these barracks, get this individual, bring them to the outskirts as far as we can, and then this archer will meet us, and then we have some kind of alliance. Yes?
Yes. I kept suggesting he would teach us to be as deadly as him, but he's said no.
Well, fortunately for you, based on the moon position, it's tomorrow, and it was your day tomorrow.
My day?
Yes.
Everybody gets one.
Wait, it's my
don't-
day. I choose what you all do. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. It's your turn.
Ah,
Ordell shadow boxes the sky. No!
yeah, the idea of having her day is kind of stressing her out.
Would you rather it
Ordell-
be my day?
What were you saying?
Oh,
Would you
Ordell
rather
is-
it be my day?
Yeah, you do.
Emma,
'Cause I was
what
like,
were you
why are
saying?
you... I was waiting for someone to respond.
Okay. Am I just?
That's to
slipped
you,
back into the
Ashrin.
camp?
As
Yeah.
the night continues to go on, Exie, you're present for this conversation, but also largely still looking at your. No, unless you tell me
didn't hear
otherwise.
any of it.
Okay, that's what I was saying. So,
I,
largely just looking at that. You are present, though maybe not listening.
About 10 minutes after the conversation finishes, I close up and put away whatever I was fingering.
For Exie returns, seeing Ashrin having returned to the camp. Bunk, bunk, bunk to the two on the top row, bunk to the bottom. Oh, and Brie too, bunk. As Exie returns, looking back, you see the whole group here. Winter's still the only one asleep. Ashrin having returned with Emma and Ordell. Now a body next to Ordell, an elf like before.
Ashrin, I'm going to ask you sincerely. Do you trust this individual?
Could have killed me right then and there if he wanted to, and all of you, and he didn't. So yes.
Good.
Exie, with this new information, do you do anything or just return to Overwatch position?
No, I'll start my morning routine.
Okay.
No idea what they're talking about, but that doesn't really matter. And I'll start going through checking every single part of my body like I usually do.
After a few hours, eventually the sun rises, and as it hits beneath the clouds in the distance, Winter, it finally hits your eye and forces you awake as you rejoin your party. You roll over from your spot and see a dead elf. A dead elf.
Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Not for them.
Eventful night.
We brought you
Again, not for
breakfast.
them.
Oh. Context?
Food.
I thought that was a funny joke. No
Oh.
one is laughing though.
I thought you were
Ha,
serious.
ha, ha.
Why did I know
So-
Exie was going to
Exie.
do that?
Usually, Ordell, when people say jokes, their intonation or tone changes.
That doesn't
And it
sound
was-
very fun.
The same tone that you always use.
Hold on.
Can you
You
give
got-
example, Ashrin?
Yes, tell
Well,
me a
this is-
joke, Ashrin.
Wait.
Right.
Wait. I love jokes, but also there is a dead elf next to me.
Right. you
I
can-
like dead things. Dead things are great. Little surprising to wake up to.
You can thank the Black Archer for that.
Okay.
Would you like to wake up to dead things more often?
Can I get back to you?
Winter has a long, legitimate thought about that first before answering.
Yeah. Can I get back to you?
Affirmative.
So, okay. rewind.
What does rewind mean to you, Winner?
What he
Did
did.
you know the great wizard who used to travel back in time rewind himself?
Ah.
It's a common term.
Or
I'm
dulce,
sorry. We have a half robot, half biological creature in our
I'm
party
sorry.
that has a
Do
gun.
you program the Warforged? Do you program them?
I probably read books about it.
Fair enough. You do have high int. Everyone.
Apparently,
Winter
long
says
story short-
rewind, and everyone else is confused, except XC.
Apparently, long story short, Black Archer came last night. They wrestled and had a great time. And then he killed an elf. And then didn't kill us. And then told her to go to this Nove place and, bring back their leader so that he can kill them. And so it's, I think, a win-win for this entire group.
So we do. So we get to kill them.
Yeah, so we switch sides. So instead of being on the side of the Raiders, we're basically on the side of the Black Archer. And then once we help him, he'll help us.
I mean, that's
We-
perfect because that's kind of what the aim was, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
To
and
be fair,
what
I
we've
don't
kind of
think we were.
been do.
Yeah, I
Um,
was about to say, I think we've been on the opposite side of the Raiders. Well, honestly, since we've met.
So Ash is Winter's best friend. How's she doing? Am I getting any tells or anything, or is she just completely normal?
Was she getting a case of the vapors? Ashrin.
How can you do that and also be him?
Ashrin,
I
could
think
go ahead and roll a. Are
Yeah.
you trying to? I don't know. We were joking of all the fan fiction stuff. Did Ashrin? Was Ashrin thoroughly impressed?
I think
For lack of a better term.
she would probably, with Winter, she would probably play up the wrestling and brown eyes part because that's just what we like talking about. But when it came down
Piercing
to
brown
the
eyes.
piercing brown eyes, well, what's wrong with brown eyes?
And piercing in a good
But-
way.
Piercing's a good thing.
Thank you. But then once talked about skill set and swiftness and his ability to drive an arrow past XT but then kill the elf that was following us, she displays respect and impressed by his skills. So
Right. His skills. Winter gets her book out again and makes note. Piercing brown eyes.
I have to be completely honest. I think I'm stronger than he is.
Well, that's okay. How did he
Yeah.
deal with it? How did he deal with you being stronger than him?
He's going for tone, not bulk.
Like, was he cool about it?
Oh, yeah, he learned to adjust his weight to compensate.
I mean, honestly, that's better.
Yeah, he's very intelligent.
Oh, so wrestling means that you two, that's why you said good time.
Good for you. And I'm going to pat Ashrin on the shoulder and start packing up and leave.
What am I doing with this dead body?
Let it
Ash-
sit be a
Ash-
sign.
Ash-
I don't know.
I'll take the body from here.
Wait. The platinum coin. Should we plant it on the body?
I don't know, but Emma reaches down, grabs the body, and back into the ring.
Oh,
I'm going to go pick up the coin. This is a weird question. Where are we right now? Like, did we get to elevated ground anywhere close to the mountains or anything when we traveled?
So a few things. Now that it's morning and there's more light, you're able to see a little bit more. The coin was thrown in a random direction during the middle of the scuffle, a little bit away from camp. If you want to find it, you can go search for it. But from where you're at, it was kind of dark and hard to really see where you were before. You're still in a kind of forest of dead trees, though there is a small hill, or almost cliff is not the best descriptor for it, but it's maybe about 10 feet up or so. You can just kind of see it from where you're at, with some dead trees around it that seems to have vines and vegetation actually growing over this hill here, and a few small flowers that are kind of scattered around this terrain. It's way in the distance, but you can see it through the trees here as it does kind of go further. As the more north you go, the more the elevation seems to kind of rise and increase as you get closer towards the mountain. You're still maybe about 5 miles off from the mountain at this point.
Yeah, Ordell's gonna look for the coin. Ordell has an idea then.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an investigation.
Investigation's not my strong suit. That's not bad though. 18 total.
18. It is a shiny coin. Let's see. Yeah. As Ashrin, you say, like, yeah, we were wrestling over there. He's like, oh, okay. Before you do go off into that direction and look around, there is a shiny piece of platinum that seems to kind of reflect off of the sun in this sea of dead wildlife, or not wildlife, but dead landscape around you. And so it kind of catches your eye. So you are able to find it as you go over there and pick up the platinum coin.
Ordell is gonna take it to the highest point that he can get to that's within eye shot. He's gonna cock back and just throw in the direction they were gonna go.
Okay. So you're just going to throw it further to the north?
You bet. Yeah, yeet.
Go ahead and roll me in athletics.
Athletics. Oh, I'm good at those. Oh, I'm really good at that. I'm gonna do my thing because this is fun. So 19 plus 5, so 24 plus athletics is that's an unnatural 30, baby. How far it go?
So a lot of people like to skip rocks on water, but the real skill is to skipping coins on land. As Ordell, before throwing it, you actually throw it a little wide, but hey, Rybo does a 30 yeet. It does in fact yeet. You throw it a little wide, like, oh, whoops. And you know, when you throw something and it's about to hit something and you kind of do that instinctive, oh, whoops. You throw it and it goes through the bark of a tree and continues to go out to the other side as it skips along the rocky surface and up the mountain. That's probably a good 100-yard throw.
Just that lady sneaking more water from the yell. Ow! Yeah, Ordell just dusts his hands.
That problem is taken care of. Let's go.
As Ordell approaches back the small camp you all have.
Okay.
As I'm kind of packing up my bedroll and things like that, and talking to Ash about what happened last night, I'll go, oh, Emma, hey, Emma,
She's already in the ring with the dead body.
hey, Emma, and I'm gonna like pull the photo out and wave it at Ash and be like, I found this photo or this picture. I don't know. Does anyone recognize this? Does this belong? Maybe it was the elves, I guess. Does this belong to anyone?
I'm gonna turn the
That is-
ring so I can point it a little bit.
That is clearly a picture of Emma.
As Ordell points at it.
It's a picture of Emma.
No.
That is the horns match identically and the symbols match on the brow.
Ordell
Also
is
the
another
tail design with the
undead,
little
is easily able to distinguish
Processing
this.
data.
They're
XE, roll
just
an
from the same-
intelligence check.
they're just from the same clan. That's why they have the same tattoos and everything.
Yeah.
They have the exact height, body
15.
structure, and jawline.
15. You also recognize the similarities. They don't
I'm gonna-
necessarily have to be
Processing
from the same
complete.
person.
Height is similar. Potential race. Maybe paternal, maternal.
I'm gonna pat
Well-
Ordell and be like, oh, honey, Emma doesn't have skin.
And you know what people say? It's like you end up liking someone that looks like you, kind of.
Yeah.
You are going to hate every second of this, but I'm going to do something that you are not going to enjoy.
Ordell's gonna reach under his jaw and he's gonna pull back and show his skull head.
Yes.
Flesh just covers. This is
And
just a
it's-
bag I am wearing.
It's at this point Emma pops out holding the armor and clothing of the dead body she brought in the ring and just kind of looks over at XC and just like, You use this and throws it.
Two things, because they need to be commented on. Ashrin and Winter, I need you to roll a con save. Winter, since you like the dead. Actually, because of Ashrin's background too, both of you have advantage.
Oh my
Emma,
Love
I'm
both
not-
of their facial expressions right now.
I just had to real quick write down the quote, "This is just a bag I wear."
Con. 16.
16.
15.
15. You both are able to hold your breakfasts in as Ordell literally puts his face back on. Luckily, because if I'm correct, after having drank water to start today, you're out, and losing it would not be a good thing.
Yeah.
Although,
So-
Winter, you did have some fresh blood. But Emma, as you were going through the body, you're saying you're bringing about its belongings, correct?
Clothing, yeah, literally everything it had on the body. The only thing left in the ring is the body.
Roll me an investigation.
15 plus 2, so 17.
17. As you are searching for the body, or not searching for the body, searching the body, you reach into its pockets and try and find anything of value. And the first thing that you find is a platinum coin and parchment that has the rough description of the Black Archer and kind of drawing on it, which is just a hooded figure and a reward for 3,000 gold.
Just creatures.
Where did that come from?
The Wraith
That was
babies.
my baby.
Oh, I was like, that was not mine.
Both the parents just look. It wasn't mine.
Is it mine?
It
Is he
wasn't
okay?
Yeah.
No, Emma just literally takes everything she finds. She doesn't care about the platinum. She doesn't care about like literally anything she's holding, armor, clothing, anything like that. Just looks over to XC because she notices some metal maybe in there, maybe with armor and things, and throws it to his feet.
This is
May I
made
see
for
the
a
platinum?
biological. This do not fit me.
Oh, and Emma flips the platinum coin and says, "I have work to do. When you need me, just tap on the ring."
Ordell's like sitting there getting his face back in line, doing this like awful like, and then Ordell's gonna go yeet that other coin.
Ordell, go ahead and roll me another athletics check. I think I broke Brie. I'm correct.
This one's this one's a 19 total.
19. This one, you don't go too far from the edge of camp. You throw it in a opposite direction, still somewhat to the north, just trying to get it away. As you do so, it flies off. This one, you're not skipping it. You're just tossing it. It goes a couple 20, 30 yards out of sight, out of mind at this point.
Can I roll a survival on cleaning the body?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to get it down to bone.
Oh, so like as if somebody were to
removing-
get a deer.
Yeah, except for I don't want the meat.
Oh, so you're not worried about it like
I'm not.
being
No, I
pristine
literally
meat.
just want bones underneath.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's a lot easier, and don't really have to be too good at that. So go ahead and roll me a survival check.
I rolled a 17 plus 4.
As
Dexter.
no one sees it. However, Emma basically takes the chef knife that she has from all the books that she's been reading and sharpens it up before it just kind of it fades to black as she like leans forward and does a very good job carving up this body. You
And
obviously
then
know to
after
start
it's
thought
carved,
first.
I pop back out of the ring and go back into the ring.
Emma quickly, like dumping a load of laundry on the bed to deal with later. All the guts, all the skin, all the blood, though there wasn't much left, fall onto the ground before Emma does before back into the ring.
Gross. Let's keep walking.
If she wants her picture back or not.
The picture of her.
I,
Her crush.
Why would they both wear the same like filigree on their tail?
Because they're
You
from
th-
the same clan.
You would think they would, but this is a crescent. Why wouldn't their partner wear one that fills in the crescent, like a friendship ring?
So like each country has like their own like flag, right? It's like they're having the same flag on, the forehead.
Yes, but I have not met a single person that wears a flag on their butt.
Well,
You haven't been
You
to the right
don't know.
clubs.
The only thing I can take away from this conversation, Ordell, is that you've had a friendship ring.
No more personal questions. Zordell keeps walking.
You haven't? I feel sad for you.
Or they'll throw something else in the distance. Yeets it far, far away.
As go ahead.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, as we start to get up, Xe goes to take its first step, and the foot sort of stops about an inch from the ground. Xe removes the foot from where it was going to land and kneels down, its legs folding neatly onto themselves. It bends over, intently studying something on the ground. Small noises can be heard coming from Xe. If you did not know any better, the beeps and boops sounded like a small child giggling. After about a minute, Xe picks up something from the ground and then stands up, as if nothing had happened. As it walks away, you notice something extremely small crawl up into the recesses of Xe's hand and disappear. A tiny beetle with a shell on its back that looks almost mechanic.
As let's see who would notice. Everybody but Winter, based on passive perception, stops for a moment as Winter kind of keeps walking through the group, but the rest stop and hear the laughter and look over to Xe and observe the rest of this happening. As Xe now stands upright and kind of does the head twirl cock thing, though instead of bones cracking, it's before beginning walking back with the group. As you all continue walking back towards the town, as you're walking, trying to find that location on the map, Ashrin, you show Winter the rough map that the Black Archer made for you. Winter, it immediately enters your mind that this looks a lot like the map that you ruined, though you might be able to remember where the X was if you want to try and risk it, but either way. As y'all are walking back towards the town, Xe, you notice something in the trees. There is a small group of raiders that look to be a few human and a few elves that have made camp there in the trees north of you. They're far in the distance. You only barely catch it as you're just about to exit the trees and head back to normal land and back towards the town, wearing similar attire to the elf body that you found.
I come to a complete stop, place my arms out in case anyone tries to walk past me, and notify the group.
They seem to have no notice of your group so far.
Perhaps we should take wide berth.
Sounds like a good idea.
Your day, Ashrin. Lead the way.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
It's fun.
Computing
Right.
today is Ashrin's day.
So far,
Right,
each of
Bert?
our days have been interesting.
Yeah. I'm just not used to having like a day to me. I never really celebrated like birthdays or anything, so odd. Wide berth.
If you are uncomfortable with the idea of celebration, think of it as a mandatory duty, that our fate is in your hands for an entire 24 hours. No pressure.
Right.
Shoulder pat.
What's the date? Is it to the equivalent of today's date? Different year?
It is closer towards the end of September.
Okay. Can I make it a note of the date?
Yeah, we'll say for tracking purposes, it is September. Wait, hold on. Better. It's October the 24th.
Ooh.
because that is the date that Gandalf tells Frodo.
Nerd.
Nah.
I'm gonna write down in my journal October 24th, Ash's birthday. Well, Ash's day,
Ash's
not the
day.
day she was born.
I guess wide berth, like Exy said.
As Ashrin, you lead the group south and further away from these parties and out of the forest, attempting to go back around to the southern side of the town. As you approach, you see the town. The gate is wide open. Choose to give that a wide berth as well, eventually trying to find the spot that was described to you in the map. You can see inside the town there are many people moving back and forth, some of which are in chains, some of which are in attire like you've seen many a times before at this point. As you head around, going back near the field where you had your original fight with the raiders, and going to approach from the southwest of this town. As you do so, you move up towards the top of the hill, and before you, you can get a good vantage point of NOV. And at the top of the hill, you see a single arrow, blackened, sticking out, waiting to be retrieved. As that is where we'll stop. It is at 10 o'clock tonight. We'll come back next week as you all make your way into NOV. I gotta say, this was a super fun session. One of my favorite, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good time.
Yes.
It was a
Oh, man.
session.
It was a session.
And it's because Drew spent the first half silent.
Shush. As XC's like, I don't know, I didn't blow up a bunch of heads this time. It's okay.
Hey, I get
Awesome.
to save on ammo that way. That's a good thing.
True, you don't have to keep taking your legs apart. As it is the end, go ahead and finish up that giveaway, and we'll find out who the second winner is, and then we will end tonight. Thank you all for watching. I'm not sure who we're going to be rating yet. I think Lana will decide that one, so whoever we do end up deciding to rate, that's going to be awesome. Rybo, any session with you is our favorite.
Quickly
Oh,
sick.
look at you.
Twiggy's sick.
Twiggy's sick.
Oh,
Congratulations. Congrats,
Send
you.
us an email.
Yeah, get that email. Lena will send that email out to Alex and the rest of us, and we'll get you your dice. Also, just as kind of a cool announcement, I already talked to them, so I'm very excited. The Black Archer art, Soul Wesson's going to do it for us. I'm commissioning them to make it. So
Yes.
excited to have them. I don't think they knew they were doing the Black Archer art until right now, though. So very excited for them to do that. They just know they're doing a commission, so very excited for her to take that on. Awesome.
Oh my
Thank you all
gosh.
for a fantastic night. As was requested in chat, I think this episode will be called BONK because of how much horny jail there was needed for everything. Thank you. Have a fantastic night. Love you all. Have a great night.
Bye.
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 I love you.